Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. Shake it, but keep pointing out all the lies. Putting the scripture right in your eyes. The Bible guy. He reads Hebrew and Greek and shows you that your book's not unique. The Bible guy. He turns through the pages until every Christian rages. The Bible guy. Watch one time and you're hooked. Now let's watch why the Christians get cooked. The Bible guy.
Howdy, howdy, folks. Bible Guy here, coming at you live from Northeast Texas. How we all doing today? Everyone, make sure you tap that screen. Share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Let's get the word out there today so we can talk about the topic at hand, being, why should I believe in God? I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. I'm an atheist. I'm called the Bible Guy. Isn't that strange? But not all that much, if you really understand what it means to be the Bible Guy. But anyways, enough about all that. If you are opposition and you'd like to call in and let's have a conversation, you can call in. If you're on TikTok, just request up. If you're on YouTube, then you can request in on up by tinyurl.com/BG show Discord. All right. Well, looks like we got a friendly who wants to come up and say hi. Hi, Haiku. How you doing, buddy?
Good. I think you ought to believe in God because of all the benefits.
Like, all the virgins you could ask for.
I mean, that's one good reason. I don't know, but
oh man,
look, you gotta look. You don't want to unalive and then go to like not have your family with you, do you?
Luckily, I'm gonna be buried with my family, I think.
Yeah, but then there's nothing. You gotta have life after life with them.
I think I'm gonna upload my consciousness into the GTA 6 server, and just have a ball of a time.
All right. Well, I don't have no response to that, but otherwise, you know.
Well, that does track. That does track.
Hey, man, just saying, keep doing what you're doing. Love you. You're doing a great job. Appreciate you, man.
Love you too, Haiku. You have a wonderful day, bud. So yeah, everyone, look at this. We got like ourselves a new background situation going with the Hebrew all swirling around me and whatnot. Is your video supposed to be off? No, is it off for you? Here, let me take a look at on TikTok. Let's take a look. I don't see, you don't see me. Does anyone else see me at least? Or is it just functional high? Looks good to me, says Haiku. Oh. I see you. Okay. It might just be you, functional high. AZ Vocal Local says, I can't see you. So it seems like the majority of people can, but there's like a couple people here and there for some reason can't see me. As long as you can hear me, that's fine. Well, even though you will hate, I hope you find God. Won't hate. The only thing I hate is willful ignorance. I don't hate Christians though by default. I just pity them. That's it. No hate, just pity. Also, why do y'all keep telling me to find God? Did y'all lose him? I mean, goddamn, put a bell on him or something. I can't keep track of him for y'all. Well, we all live you. You all live me. Well, that's something. Anyways, if you're trying to say I love you, guess what? No one really cares for performative love, where it's like, I love you. Oh my God, I love you so much. And that should make you want to be a Christian because we all just love you so much. But fun fact, you telling me you love me doesn't mean jack shit to me. If anything, it's just embarrassing. It's obviously performative. You can actually just actively love me without having to tell me you love me. Yeah, that is the case. So this is just you being performative, performative piety for the audience, and Jesus would not appreciate it. It's good on a refresh. Well, there you go. Fantastic. Everyone, make sure you tap that screen, share the live with those you love, with those you hate, with your friends and with your enemies. Tap that screen like Jonathan wanted to tap King David. Tap that screen like the Romans tapped them nails into Jesus. Let's see. We do. God says to love all. And even though you go against it, I hope you find God, said Josh us. Sorry, God can't be found if he doesn't exist. But you're more than welcome to call on up and give me a reason to think that he even exists. Why would I go on a wild goose chase looking for something that might not exist? I've already spent my time looking for him, found nothing. But hey, who knows? Maybe you could actually provide evidence. Let's see. Yes, he does. I was saved. Prove it. Prove it. Are you going to be able to like demonstrate with any like in any real way that you were saved? Or am I going to have to take your word on it? Or is it going to be something simple as, I used to live one way, and then I accepted Jesus, and now I live a completely different life? If that's all the evidence you got, sorry, Muslim, you just have about as much evidence for your religion as Muslims do. Sorry about that. Just got a text message from Camwise. Anyways, yeah, everyone, Cam went live for the first time in months. Today, that was fun. Short but sweet. Let's see. I am, instead of being like you, I know God like all should. No, you think you know God. But if God doesn't actually exist, then you don't actually know him. You just believe you know him. But again, Josh, maybe you would like to come up here and like present an argument in favor of God's existence. And maybe I'll have my mind changed, and maybe I'll be a believer in the existence of a God. Unless you recognize that you just don't have any arguments for God's existence, in which case you won't come up here. Hope everyone's having a good day today over on YouTube and TikTok side. I was in Cam's chat and some guest was being a condescending prick. Oh, yes, absolutely. His name was Sargon. Sargon came up there and started pretending like, if you don't know a lot about Mesopotamian culture, then you can't really know anything about the Bible, and trying to invalidate Cam's knowledge on the Bible. You don't need to have an extensive knowledge on Mesopotamian culture in order to understand the Bible. That was just Sargon attempting to lord his specialty knowledge over Cam in order to try and make her look bad, but it didn't work. It just made him look like a prick. No, because you just interrupt. I won't interrupt you as long as you answer my questions. The only time I have to interrupt is when you don't answer the questions I ask you. I'm not rude with everyone. Maybe, Josh, maybe you got that personality. Some people are like really bad faith and they bring it out of debaters. But I have conversations with Christians where I never have to interrupt. I never have to mute. We never get rude. It might just be that you have that kind of personality, Josh. It brings it out of a debater. Yeah. That's just how it goes. If you don't answer questions, then, and if you're like being insincere, then like, of course we can't have a conversation. You know, as long as you act like an adult and you answer questions, you don't get interrupted. It's as simple as that. Hello, Benjamin Argo and the Mad Hatter. Good to see y'all here as well. Good to see Sean, of course, Satanist Sailor, Glitter, Chase teaches physics. Hello, everyone. Everyone start tapping that screen. Get us the 10th K and we'll get up in the algorithm. We'll get some opposition here. Would like to come up and debate us on the topic of whether or not I should believe in God. See, I used to believe in God, but then I started thinking about it and came to the conclusion that I didn't really have any good reason to believe in God. It was all just appeals to faith and appeals to ignorance. And I don't think ignorance. Yeah, thank you for the cowboy hat. And I don't think ignorance is a very good reason for someone to believe in God. Also, again, if you are on YouTube and you would like to call in and have a conversation with me, you can call in at tinyurl.com/BG Show Discord. Just go down to the segment, which is Bible Guy call-in stage, and we can have a one-on-one. Are you restricted on TikTok? Your viewers count is shockingly low, and I can't repost. You can't repost? I might have to. Okay, in that case, here I'm going to do a quick restart on TikTok because that might be why. Because I really am. They will not let me show my intro video on TikTok without like hitting me. So I think I might not be able to do that anymore. Let's see. Real quick, I'll just do a quick restart. It's crazy, guys. TikTok is so finicky. I really wish there was a better app to do this on. All right, let's see. Now, hopefully that takes care of that whole nonsense. I'll actually get a Christian come in here who would love to debate us on the Bible. I guess I really just can't show you guys the intro video on TikTok anymore. Y'all just have to listen to it. And if there's a God, then he doesn't look like me. I've got that sound stuck in my head. And I'm just a current member of the apex species. There'll be another when humans go extinct. We've only been around 2,100 years or 13.5 billion years. Okay, also, I guess I'll share this with you guys. This is pretty funny. I got a text message, not a text message, a comment on TikTok. Not TikTok, on YouTube. And this is a really funny comment from a Christian recently. Let's take a look at this comment. Here we go. Atheists don't believe in the God of the Bible. Well, that is true. We do not believe in the God of the Bible. So, Robert Trucker, good for you on that one. Let's see. Atheists don't believe God exists. Yes, that would also be the case. God is not responsible for the crimes that are taking place now or in the future, since God doesn't exist. That is also true. God, and we atheists don't actually blame God for any crimes that take place. What Christians don't seem to understand is that we say, in the hypothetical where the Bible is true and God does exist and God is responsible for all the evil in the world, but we don't actually think God exists or that he's responsible for any evil, just so we're clear. Let's see, crimes such as stealing, lying, murder, abuse of children, which is, done by members of the church, elderly and animals, we are responsible, including atheists. Yes, all of this mentioned so far, I have had atheists agree with me. Well, yes, because you've only said things which are trivially true. And then non sequitur. Why would I want to become an atheist? Trying to understand. Well, it's not a matter of wanting. If Robert Trucker, if you're listening, it's not a matter of wanting to become an atheist. No one wants to become an atheist. People become an atheist because they realize, oh shit, I don't have any good reason to believe in God. Therefore, I am now an atheist. So like, I didn't want to become an atheist. I just did become an atheist. So also, nothing you said before had anything to do with your final question. So maybe instead of saying things which are trivially true, wasting all that keyboard space, why don't you just ask the question?
I do just want to add, I do blame the tooth fairy for my dental problems. So
facts. Yeah, absolutely. Let's see. I've seen the same comment. Or yeah, it's wildness. Christians' inability to engage with hypotheticals or understand internal critique blows my mind. Now I realize why your viewer count was low. Ashland wasn't here. Facts. There you go. Watch it skyrise now.
I don't know about all that.
But we're only at 494 likes, so everyone make sure you're tapping that screen like crazy. Get the live out. The numbers are far too low for tonight. Is there's like another big channel on or something right now?
Joel Reads the Bible is on.
Joel
Reads Bible. Technically, it's Joel Reads Bible, by the way.
I don't like that at all. It's Joel Reads the Bible in my head.
It really is. It really is.
J4Y says, what's his name? Whose name? What's whose name?
Ted Lasso.
I was thinking like God. Lots of different names for different gods. What's Joel's name? Joel's name is Joel. My name is Dalton. And I'm an atheist. A non-Bible believing but Bible understanding atheist. Brett Cross and Jeff are active too. Don't know who Brett Cross is. And if by Jeff, do you mean hopefully not Jeff for Truth? Jeff for Truth has man, that guy, I'm telling you. He I know he's an atheist, but he acts just like a Christian. He makes content and his mindset is a very Christian mindset of looking at the world. And spoilers, it's not the storm Canaanite war god. You mean Yahweh? You might want to move the prompt to the right a little bit.
Oh, that's weird. It's centered in my screen.
Yeah, it's centered on my screen as well. That's strange. Strangeness.
It's a TikTok glitch. It happens to me too. There'll be like a little black sliver on the side of someone's screen, but it's less often than it used to be.
Yeah, but anyways, guys, last night I started doing more reading on the PSR since no Christian is capable of explaining it to me. And it seems like the reason why Christians think the PSR is like super compelling is because the PSR says that everything has to have a sufficient explanation for why it happens. So as a result, there can't be brute facts, which this seems like a statement.
No. Weak PSR does say that it's based on brute facts.
Yeah, I was about to get to that. There's
okay.
And I was about to get that in a second. Of course, this is undemonstrated. Like, there's no reason to think that there can't be brute facts, and it's just sort of it's stated that this has to be the case. With no argument given, at least none that Christians are willing to provide. And then, of course, as Ashton has pointed out, there's also a difference between like a weak and the strong PSR. And under the strong PSR, it says that everything has to have a sufficient explanation, and that would mean that the universe itself would have to have one. But this is just a composition fallacy to state that just because parts of like individual things within the universe have a sufficient explanation, therefore the universe as a whole must, is a composition fallacy.
The weak PSR does say that it can be brute facts, just FYI. It doesn't say that it can. It's just the strong that says it can't be.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna talk to our first guest for the night. We got here at Leonardo 19 Delta. Leonardo, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah, what's up, man?
I'm doing good. What pronouns do you go by?
He.
And are you a believer in a God?
Yes. Hey, did you watch that debate between Jesus and whatnot and that atheist chick?
That atheist chick. So you knew his name, but you didn't know her name.
Oh yeah, it's Born Again Atheist. My bad.
You go. Put some respect on that name. No, I don't care about having this.
No, I'm not gonna respect her, bro.
Also. No, she didn't. Also, I
bro,
don't care.
She got cooked, bro.
Wait, are you just here to suck Jesus and whatnot stick, or did you want to have an actual conversation with the Bible guy?
Did you read the comments that after she posted?
So you are just here to suck Jesus and whatnot stick,
bro.
I didn't know the TikTok comment section determines whether someone won the debate or
she
not.
Admitted God.
This is the problem with TikTok debate.
She admitted God is. She admitted God is.
Are you gonna let us talk? Because we're not gonna put up with your bullshit. We'll just drop you down and finish what we're gonna have to say.
Have to mute me though, bro.
Oh, okay, bye. So he just wanted to give Jesus and whatnot that gluck gluck. That's all he came here to do. The way that they really just be like jerking each other off is really embarrassing. But no, Jesus and whatnot did not cook Born Again. That's some bullshit if I ever heard it.
So the number of people that you get to flood into a comment section, that especially between the ages of 12 and 16, because that seems to be Jesus and whatnot's age group, little creepy, just saying. It doesn't mean that you want to debate. How debates work. I know on TikTok that's how you think of debates working, but that doesn't mean that it lends truth to a situation. If that were the case, then Trump would be correct because of his fucking comment section and in his social medias.
They probably do think he's correct. Saint Brianna says Jaw is mid and no one can change my mind. For real. I wonder how many more Jaw suck boys we're gonna get today. We'll see. All right, we're going to talk to Stairway now. Stairway, hopefully Stairway will be here for an actual conversation. Stairway, are you at least 18 years old?
I am older than 18 years old.
All right, and what pronouns do you go by?
Just, the life. You said why I shall believe in God.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. We'll get to that in a second. What pronouns do you go by?
Pronouns?
What did you say? Pronouns are words that replace nouns and sentences in order to avoid repetition. Words like he and him, she and her, they and them. Which one of these do you go by?
I don't understand your question, actually.
What? Are you do you go by he? Do you go by he? Do you go by she? Do you go by they?
I go by we. Because we are the most majority people here on Earth. We are the Abrahamic system.
No, sorry, yes, that's incorrect. We is a plural pronoun. So, do you go by he? Do you go by? I don't care about this. Do you go by he? Do you go by she? Do you go by they? Those are your options. Like, would someone go about Stairway? He came up to talk to Bible Guy. She came up to talk to Bible Guy, or they came up to talk to Bible Guy. Which one of these is most appropriate for you?
So he.
There we go. He.
Let's go say he.
And are you a Bible? Are you? I'm sorry. Do you believe in a God of some kind?
Of course. I just said we are the Abrahamic according, and we appreciate Trump for doing it in 2015.
Sure. Whatever. Sure. Whatever you say. Whatever you say. Anyways, I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. I don't believe in God. What is your argument for God's existence?
Power. Control. Yes.
So I have a remote control on my desk, and my microphone has power going into it. That's evidence for God's existence. Would you mind elaborating?
You don't have the full power of it. We do have the full power of it.
Well, no. My mic's at full power right now, so it's got full power going into it.
I mean, you don't have full control of it. You don't.
I do. See, watch. I can like turn down my volume. I can turn down my volume like that. Or I can turn down your volume.
Can you hack the system? Can you hack it? Can you hack it and use it for something else?
Hack the system? It's a microphone, dude.
No, because listen, if you don't have power, you have everything.
I could take my microphone apart and change its internal workings. Sure.
Yeah, but you can use your microphone for something else if you are the owner.
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah,
I can use the microphone for many other things.
Yeah. So how is this evidence for God existing? Because I can do all that because there being no God.
Can't do exactly.
Well, no, God can't do anything.
God can't do all this.
No, God can't do anything if he doesn't exist. So I need a reason to think he exists.
No, he do exist, and we are here to prove it. I mean, Christianity, Muslims, Jewish, they've proven it.
I would love for you to actually get to the point where you actually prove it. So, what is the evidence for God existing?
Control and power.
Could you be a bit more specific? That's not sufficient for me to believe that God exists.
So the universe, come on.
What about the universe? I believe that the universe exists. Why should I think that God exists?
Yeah, but how he existed? How? Is by Big Bang or by building or by creator? By intelligent creation?
I've yet to...
It's not Big Bang. It's not by accident. Listen, it can be something exist by accident right now.
I'll just let him ramble.
It will be garbage.
So anyways, yeah, we do know that the Big Bang did in fact happen 13.8 billion years ago. That is a fact. Now, as to what caused the Big Bang, we don't.
What is the center of the Earth? I mean, what is the center of the universe? What is the center of the universe?
The universe doesn't have a center. That's not how it works.
See, that's the problem. You stupid, bro. This is stupid, my friend.
Wait,
that is a beginning. That is a start point. That is an end point.
Okay.
That is a start.
Okay, go ahead and prove that there's a beginning to the universe.
You're random. Man.
Stairway, go ahead and prove that there's a beginning to the universe.
The what?
Prove that there's a beginning to the universe. I don't believe you.
The beginning is the creation.
Prove that happened.
Creation is the dimension.
That is the claim. What is the evidence for that claim?
It's not a claim. It's not.
It is. It is a claim.
Between accident. Listen, there is a difference between accident.
I don't think the Big Bang was
creation.
I don't think that's not the only options. I don't think accident or creation are the only options. So you need to provide me a reason to think that the universe had a beginning.
Everything has a beginning, man. What is a stupid question?
I don't. Well, that's another claim again that you've yet to provide evidence for. I don't believe everything had a beginning. So that needs to be demonstrated. Prove that the universe has a beginning.
God created the heavens and the earth.
That's a claim. Okay,
you keep saying this.
Yeah.
Maybe if I say it, you need to provide evidence when you make a claim. Saying that X did Y, you are claiming that X did Y. So why should we believe you that X did Y?
How we exist right now? So how we don't exist?
Like human beings?
It depends on what point of reference. If you're going to talk about how is the universe here, the answer is I don't know the exact, how far back it goes. I don't know. As far back as that we know is the Big Bang.
He just said 4 billion.
No. As far as it could be further than that. That was not the claim of the beginning. That's just how far back that we know according to the data. So we have. Yes. The science.
Not pseudoscience.
Not pseudoscience.
This is the scientific consensus amongst physicists and geologists.
The atheist, geologist, and mythologist.
Nope. Even theistic ones, even ones who believe in God, agree with the Big Bang. They're just
Greeks and some of the Vikings, maybe. Yes.
But
the Semitic people, not.
No, wait. What the fuck are you talking about? No,
they are the most
Sinaitic. You mean Jewish? There are Jewish scientists today who believe
Jewish Arabs. Yeah, Arabs.
There are Arab. There are Jesus Christ. There are Jewish and Arabic scientists today who believe in the Big Bang because of the evidence.
Yeah, but those Jewish or Muslims or Christians, they are part of the black dress and black flags, like Orthodox, Persian, and Jewish.
What the fuck are you?
Just because you don't like a group of people and you don't agree with their idea.
That's why we smashed Trump.
Okay. Just because you don't agree with someone's belief system doesn't mean that they don't work with other atheists, other Jewish individuals, other Muslim individuals, other Christian individuals. It does not matter. Pew Research looked at this. There are these individuals within the scientific consensus who agree. It's because that's where the math lies. I don't care who invented what. The fact is that we've built on the golden age of the Arab Empire. You were unfairly erased, sure, in certain attributes, but the math is still there and it's still being worked on. So can you use contemporary evidence for your claim instead of going back to the Arab Golden Age?
So you forget about the political agreement. You said
my God.
Agreement.
Here. So wait, I'm gonna rein you back in.
God.
Listen to me really fucking closely. You've made a claim that the universe has a beginning. We are all still waiting for you to provide evidence for this claim. Are you going to be able to provide evidence without just stating
the golden ratio, the tree of life?
What about the golden ratio? It doesn't show up in nature.
Because yeah, but everything is a flower of life. It's a
Nope.
golden ratio. It's
Nope.
everywhere.
Nope.
It
Golden,
shows you.
the
It
golden
shows
ratio.
you.
Nope.
It shows
nope,
you the
nope.
center of the if everything.
God, you are just a yapper, aren't you? So the golden
Hold
ratio.
on, hold on. Can I
does
just
not, wait a
can
minute,
I ask
wait,
them?
Wait a minute.
What-
The golden ratio.
I want to test his knowledge for this really quick, if you don't
Sure.
mind, before you say anything. What's the other name for the golden ratio? Since you think it fits with everything, you should know the basics of this. Unmute.
Actually, you can tell me. I forget it.
Okay, do you know the number
You can
behind the
tell me.
golden ratio?
Yes, I mean 1,606 or 861, something like that.
Go ahead, Dalton, because that.
Yeah, this is fucking
Okay, I
ridiculous.
forget that. I don't
This
have it in
guy,
my mind.
this Joker is
It's okay.
fucking. This Joker's
Bro, I
fucking
brought up- I
fucking
bring up
ridiculous.
golden
So,
ratio.
anyways, the golden ratio doesn't actually fucking match
Interesting.
anything, and it doesn't actually fucking match anything in nature. When we take a look at actual photographs where people are like, "Oh, look how this object fits the golden ratio so perfectly," we see that it never actually does. That it requires a lot of like doing a lot of squinting because, like for example, let's take this shell right here. This shell doesn't match the golden ratio. I mean, sure, does it go around in a circle? Sure, but does it actually like go around the circle in the same way the golden ratio does? Nope. What about this sunflower? Well, nope. Something just a random area of the sunflower that for some reason it's not even the center of the sunflower. We have 0 examples in
No, it
nature
doesn't mean to
of
be in the center of an object. Sorry, you're wrong. It doesn't mean to be.
Stairway, you
Listen.
don't know the
No,
number.
sorry, it's
You don't know
Oh,
anything
please,
about
let me answer
this.
him.
You literally
I
don't know
know,
the
but-
basics.
Come on.
So stop trying to tell
come
people that you
on.
do.
Okay,
When-
so the golden ratio doesn't mean
Nothing-
things should be in
nothing-
the center. Like the
Nothing in nature fits the golden ratio.
seen the
I'm sorry
pyramids?
to
no,
the
this
pyramids
golden
don't
ratio
fit.
doesn't mean that should be.
The pyramids don't fit the
Could you-
golden ratio either.
So I just want to let everyone know that it's the other name is Fibonacci sequence. It's described by the Greek. It's denoted by the Greek letter phi, and it's a ratio between consecutive terms. There are plenty of things that don't exist with a ratio between consecutive terms. The number is 1.618033, whatever, etc. None of what this individual is saying is true.
Yeah,
It's just it's a formula.
they're just engaging in pseudo science and bullshittery. So again, why should I
Pseudo
think that the
science.
universe has a beginning? Because the golden
Because
ratio is
of
not going to
God-
get you there. Because of what, God?
Because of God.
Okay,
Creator.
well, okay, now we're back to. So the reason we got to the part where we asked about the beginning of the universe because I was asking you to demonstrate that God exists, and your claim that God exists was that there was a beginning to the universe. So I asked you, what's the evidence for the beginning of the universe? You said God. You have now created what's called a circular argument. Are you actually going to be able to provide evidence either for God or for the universe having a beginning, or are you just going to make more claims?
Okay, do you think that each thing that has, that has an explication or evidence, like God, demons, angels, electromagnetic, gravity, even gravity that has
Some
that
of
is no
these
evidence
things
for
just
gravity.
don't belong.
See, but gravity exists. No, exactly. See, wait. Gravity exists.
Yeah, well, yes,
but
I
we
can
don't have
prove. I can
evidence for
prove
it.
that gravity exists. Can you prove that God exists?
I just
No, you
want
cannot.
I
We do- we
want
do-
I want to see
you-
this search
you do,
history of
really.
this in the
Teach me then
algorithm.
about gravity.
Sorry, I didn't hear
Teach me
anything you
about
said,
gravity then. How
Stairway.
you can prove?
Oh yeah,
how you
watch
can
this. Watch
prove
this.
gravity?
Watch this. Watch this. Holy shit! I just demonstrated gravity.
That's dance. That's dance. That's the weight. That has
Uh,
nothing
n-
to do with.
No, your brain is dense. Anyways, why is
Because
it
the
that
foundation,
why
because
is it
things fall.
why is it that when I take a marble and I take a bowling ball and I drop them at wait a minute. Are you a flat earther?
Part of it, yes, sir. Exactly. You.
Was that surprising? Anyone? Is anyone struck with awe and fascination on how that person could be a flat earther?
It's so hard to have a conversation with someone who isn't even able to have a linear conversation, and that's because his brain is flat and ultra dense.
Just FYI, you're like being Arab. They believed the Earth was round. They like knew it
Yeah, which
prior
is
to like a lot of people knowing that or accepting it at least.
everyone knew that the earth was round in the time of Muhammad, so he has no excuse for being this stupid. His religion doesn't demand it of him.
Also, saying the whole political thing about the Abraham Accords, that was just a way to bypass Palestinian self-determination, to make an Arab state with like an agreement between the Arab states and Israel. It was like I'm not going to say an opinion on this because I think there are arguments, but the way that this person was using it to praise Trump, I'm very aware that they were like F Palestine, which is wild.
Stairway, you are the reason why I'm losing hope in the ability of humanity to like survive on this planet. People like you. Yeah. But anyways, maybe there's a Christian out there or a Muslim or a Jewish person or a Hindu, someone out there who can have a good, meaningful, linear conversation without just making circular arguments and like appealing to golden ratios that they know absolutely nothing about. So do we think Trump is rounding up wild horses, slaughtering them, and selling them as meat? What the fuck? Don't know, don't care. No, not a way to dismiss Isaac Newton. What about Isaac Newton? Isaac Newton thought he could turn lead into gold.
They're talking about the agreement with, is it Argentinian farmers to bring over beef? It's pissing off the agriculture industry in the United States. That's what they're talking about, politically wise.
But anyways, so your argument was also like appealing to Isaac Newton's not going to get you anywhere in this conversation. Humbleness. The guy was like, he had good ideas about gravity, but just because he was smart in one area doesn't mean that he knew what he was talking about in every other area. He thought he could use magic to turn lead into gold. So I'm not willing to take Isaac Newton's like opinions on supernatural claims.
Just FYI, like the what is it? The Creation Museum uses all these scientists like Isaac Newton. But they can't they have very large troubles getting any like contemporary scientist up on they have like this like museum of pictures of these scientists, but they kind of stopped being relevant, I don't know, several hundred years ago on these factors. Like
everything else in their worldview, their understanding of science is Victorian. Humbleness says, look into Isaac Newton. Isaac, never heard of him. I don't know. Humbleness, look into, I don't know, Stephen Hawking's. Dr. Samuel Blitz. Anyone like a contemporary scientist who, isn't fucking dead. And who also didn't like shit in a bucket. It's crazy. Crazy
hey,
work.
I'm gonna give I don't even know how to pronounce this name. Jatim on YouTube. Islam sweeps the Arab world as desert dwellers. Let's be a little more respectful about individuals of these countries when you're saying that, because like that's how we demonize groups of people. So like, please don't. I get we don't like Islam. It's not great. They justify a lot of really horrid crap because of like the religion, but like let's not talk about Arabs in a certain way.
Right. Humbleness says, did Stephen Hawking ever get anything wrong? Did Isaac Newton ever get anything wrong? Why? What's the relevance of asking this question? Fun fact, there is no relevance to it. That's it. Gee whiz, what a strong start to the show today. Everyone, make sure that you send in your super chats and that you like the live and share it out. And if you're on TikTok, tap that screen. We're at 1.9 thousand likes. We could be a lot higher right now. So everyone, make sure you're tapping that screen. Get us up to 10K likes, and hopefully we'll be able to get a good interlocutor in today. I don't have high hopes in it, but you never know. It could happen. 1 second. Let's see. I'll just put this on in the background while we. Anyways. Newton's gravity formula, gravity famously couldn't explain the perihelion precession of Mercury. Look at that, Humbleness. Man, Humbleness, I really wish you would live by your name and, practice a little bit of humbleness. That would be fantastic. I really wish you could live up to your name. The world would be better off for it. People who use the excuse science gets stuff wrong lower my brain cell count. Oh yeah, 100%. Every person who's ever used that argument knows hardly nothing about science. I could dismiss everything Stephen Hawking said because he got something wrong like you do. Do I dismiss everything that Isaac Newton said? No. Humbleness, you need to, like, I don't know, like, what's a good, like, fruit or something that someone can eat that will, like, increase their intelligence, help them with their tracking capabilities in a conversation?
There's not enough fruit in the world to do that for this individual.
Ah, well. All right. All right, we got here Arliss. Arliss, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
What was that?
Yes.
What's a W-2? Arliss, what is a W-2?
Bro, wait, my thing's like.
Yeah, right.
If your voice sounds like mine, but more innocent,
Probably
we know.
a
We
child.
can tell.
You can't stop fucking lying to us. Liars go to hell.
I don't think that's good to actually tell children, by the way, who actually believe that.
If it gets them to stop fucking lying to me.
That's
You can tell the innocence in the voice, yeah. I mean, hell's not real, but like if you're a Christian, you actually care about that shit. I don't understand why Christians who care about lying actively come up here and just lie to us blatantly to our face. It's insane.
I also approve of the German method. That's what you're using, where they tell folklore stories to get children to behave.
If you keep telling me that you are 18 years old or older, then the Krampus is going to come down your roof and snatch you away into the night. Under the biblical paradigm, it's true, so there. I was told purgatory was worse than hell as a Catholic. I was screwed from the get-go. That's a weird thing to say. Like, as far as Catholic theology is concerned, purgatory is objectively better than hell, as like hell is eternal and purgatory is temporary. So that was a very strange thing for your catechist to tell you. Maybe they were just unnecessarily cruel.
Ogre Raid, Ogre Raid.
Thank
Also,
you.
make sure we only have 2.4k likes. Make sure you're tapping that screen. We all need better finger grip for the nefarious activities we get a hold of late at night. So we are offering you time to practice with your fingers, get stronger. The second thing is I just want to give a shout out. We kind of neglect our YouTube mods and don't show enough appreciation to y'all. So thank you so much, YouTube mods. You show up, you do your thing, and we appreciate you. YouTube Punk, let's see, Social, I don't know if Social is here, and several other people, especially I see you all the time. And also if you're on YouTube, hit that like button.
Speak for yourself. Yeah. I thank them at the end of every single stream.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, but our TikTok mods too.
Yeah, well, I think all mods.
I'm not going to leave y'all up, all mods, but I think the YouTube mods get a little neglected.
Thanks for reminding me. Absolutely. Oh, sorry. Maybe not worse, but hotter. Yeah, I don't know why, Gary, why your catechist teacher told you that. Like, there's no way whatsoever of like measuring that claim, like purgatory's hotter, as if like some pope is going around with a thermometer like, yep, purgatory hotter than hell. I think your teacher was just really fucking mean to you. Do infinitesimals explain how Einstein equations can be broken into newtons? That is definitely a question for Chase. Chase teaches physics. But anyways, if you're a theist and you think you might have a good reason for us to think that God exists, call on up and let's have a conversation. I think it was like some saint who saw purgatory or like fiery handprints on their clothes from Souls of Purgatory. Yeah, it's really crazy stuff. All right. We're going to bring up our next guest. Jay Ego's back up. Jay, are you at least 18?
Yeah, I'm 25.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And are you a God believer of some kind?
I'm Christian, yes.
All right.
I don't see the relevance here, but okay.
The relevance of whether or not you believe in God? Because the live is about why should I believe in God, so.
Well,
reading helps. So I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. Why should we think that the Christian God exists?
well, okay, so it's just as closed-minded for you to not believe in a God as it is for me to believe in a God. So can you go to him?
Closed-minded. I'm open to the nope, I'm open to a God existing. I'm just not yet convinced.
Okay, so can you go to explain why there isn't a God?
I don't know whether or not there is no God or not. I just don't know that God does exist.
So are you agnostic or are you atheist?
Well, those aren't mutually exclusive terms.
Are you agnostic or are you atheist? What do you like? Wait, stop using all these stupid ass like terms. Are you agnostic or are you?
Hey, words, just FYI, are used so that we can communicate. So stupid ass terms are how we can communicate with one another. Just
yes, ma'am. I didn't even know you were in here. Holy shit!
Oh my god!
He literally used words to introduce me earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right,
so
right,
maybe
right.
And you have a screen in front of you.
Let's pause.
So not only are you like illiterate and you can't read, but also like you don't listen very well when I introduce people on the panel. So try a little bit harder to be
You're gonna make fun of me because I can't read?
Yes. Now, you're 25, you should be able to read. Now, Ashley and I are agnostic atheists. Those are the terms agnostic and atheist are not mutually exclusive propositions. Agnosticism and Gnosticism refers to one's knowledge level, whilst theist and atheist refers to what it is that one believes or what one lacks belief in. So I lack a belief in a God, therefore I'm an atheist, but I don't have absolute knowledge that I know for a fact that there is no God. I'm open to the idea that there could possibly be some sort of God out there, so I'm an agnostic atheist. Now, do you have any good reasons why we should believe that a God does exist?
All right, so do you know who Albert Einstein is? Do you know who that is?
Who he was? Yes. And he also didn't believe in God.
Yeah, he did.
No, he didn't.
Fuck. Yeah, he
did. He was closer to a pantheist.
No, he did.
Can you
look at, bro? I
have hold on. I have a book right next to me called Spinoza's Religion. And in fact, Einstein is quoted saying that he does not believe in like the Christian God. Would you like me to pull up the quotes?
Dude, look this up on the internet. Albert Einstein believed in God, bro.
Jay, you're at a 12. You need to bring it down to like an 8. Chill out. You're okay.
Because you keep...
You're okay. You're okay. Shh. It's okay, Habibi. It's okay. Shh. Now, Einstein often would use the term God in a metaphorical sense. He would say things like God doesn't play dice with the universe. But the closest thing that Einstein got to a belief in a God was in like the God of Baruch Spinoza. Do you know what Baruch Spinoza believed about God?
Well, what are you gonna let me answer? Like, or are you just gonna mute me before I even get
as long as you chill out, we'll be fine.
Okay. Well, bro, it's just because you're like I'm getting pissed off because you. Just
I bet you are.
Me, like,
I grant that.
Because I'm getting pissed off because you just keep like muting me like whenever I'm saying facts. And then you mute me because...
Well, you've yet to say a fact.
All right. So, did Albert Einstein not believe in God? Yes or no? Did Albert...
No.
Okay, so where's your source on that? Because this is an objective fact that...
Ashlyn, go ahead and provide that source for us.
Yeah, I'm pulling up the quote right now.
He muted me
the other day. Because you don't shut the fuck up, my guy.
Yeah. I don't have to do the mute button with everybody, but you are far too unruly. Yeah, we have personal correspondence, letters from Albert Einstein to his friends, where he has like specifically outlined that he doesn't believe in a god. Let's see.
Yeah, I just used it the other day. I have to find the history,
like,
but I look up a lot of
where's
stuff.
the source that Albert Einstein did not fucking
We'll get. Fun fact: we're looking it up right now. Chill out. Chill out.
Can you guys stop?
Shh. You're okay. You're okay. You're not being harmed right now. Relax. Relax. You're okay. All right. Let's see.
Sorry.
Okay. If I calm down, will y'all stop muting me?
Yes, if you relax and act like a normal human being.
Who's the one muting me?
Me. I'm the one muting you now. Relax. Take it down, buddy. Take it down. Gee whiz, you're so testy.
Bro, we're debating right now, bro.
Well,
why are you muting me?
You're
bro?
allowed.
You can chill out.
You can debate and be a chill person. You don't have to act like a 5-year-old.
All right. So if I bring my voice down lower, you're gonna stop muting me then?
Yeah, as long as you also stop yapping. No, go ahead, Ash.
This is on Wikipedia.
My gosh, bro.
Einstein famously word, the word God is for me is nothing more than the expression and product of human weaknesses. This is on Wikipedia. It was a handwritten letter to his philosopher Eric Gunkind on January 3rd, 1954.
I don't know what you just said, but that was just holy.
Here, she'll read it again. This time she'll read it slowly so that your brain can take it in, because I get you have a really hard time taking in information. So go ahead, Ashlyn. Go ahead and reread that slower for him.
The word God is for me nothing more than an expression and product of human weaknesses.
Does that sound like someone who believes in God?
What is your point to that, though? What do you mean by that?
Does that sound like?
What do you mean by that, though?
Which one of those words did you not understand?
No. I want her to I don't understand.
So you've made the claim that Albert Einstein believed in a God. Ashlyn just provided you a direct quote from Albert Einstein where he expresses that he doesn't have a belief in a God, and he thinks that the word God is just a word that we have used to express human weakness. Does that sound like someone who believes in the existence of God?
Dude, you just keep fucking muting me every time.
Oh my god, you just keep fucking muting me. Oh my god, bro.
And then I can
it's ridiculous.
I can continue with his quotes. I believe in Spinoza's God, which if you know anything about Spinoza's, and then he clarifies this, who reveals himself in the lawful harmony of all that exists. What he is talking about is closer to like a pantheist thing. He goes on to write about this, about how harmony to him, unless you think the universe is God, which would be heresy.
Yeah.
Einstein did not believe in God.
Excuse me, host. Can you stop?
Excuse me, please, will you please excuse me, host? Dude, stop bitching. Now, Ashlyn has demonstrated. No, I'm not going to. Not as long as you continue to act like this. Ashlyn has demonstrated for us that Einstein didn't believe in a God, but I mean, I would love for you to actually engage with what's being said instead of acting like a
host. I am literally.
How do you feel about being on YouTube, Jay? Because that's what's going to happen in the future.
Your tantrum is forever going to be on YouTube for everyone to see.
Okay, are you gonna let me talk now, bro? Like, yes. Are you dead ass? Like, are you gonna let me talk now,
yeah,
bro?
Respond to the Einstein quote. Come on, dude. Be serious.
Dude, you have been muting me, dude.
Oh my god, stop whining and just respond. Oh god. Why do they have to act like this? I really wish I could talk to a mature person. So, respond to the quote from Einstein that Ashlyn has provided for us.
I can't even remember what fucking quote she said.
Okay, go ahead and quote it again, Ashlyn.
Which one?
The about what the word of God means to Einstein.
Okay, so there's.
Okay, you're not serious. Anyways, What? There's no fucking way that person was 18.
For anyone who's like seriously like studied on religion, you would know what he meant by Spinoza. He was a Spinozist, which would I think that like because it's its own category describing it as like a pantheist kind of that it while not accurate, the closest thing that you can get for someone who may not understand what Spinoza's
basically
God was.
In short, the Spinoza is just, wow, the universe is really cool. All right, we're going to talk to Ivan now. Hopefully Ivan will act like a fucking adult. Ivan, are you at least 18?
I'm 37. Hey, what's going on? You look like Jack Osborne.
Oh, thank you. I guess. What pronouns do you go by?
He, them.
And are you a God believer?
I'm spiritual, yeah.
But yeah, do you believe in a God though?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
All right. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland, my co-host. Why should we believe? Why should we believe in the existence of a God?
Because you doubt. 100% you doubt.
I do doubt that a God exists. So, but why should I think he does exist?
Well, if you live life like you are now, and that's what you think, and that's where you want to go at, why would you care about God?
Well, it's not about
wants. As an atheist,
it's not about wants, though.
So why would you want me to change your mind if you don't? So I feel like you're gaslighting a little bit, and that's okay. Why would you want me to convince you when you don't want to be convinced? You already made up your mind.
No. If it's true, if the claim that God is real is a true statement, then I do want to believe it. I have doubts. But I would if it's true though, I would like to know about it. But I have doubts because no one's given me a good argument up until this point. So I doubt God's existence.
Your mother, your father, your sister,
they believe in God.
And that didn't work, right?
Them believing in God is not a reason for me to believe in God.
Exactly. So with that means I accept you. So do you accept people that believe in God?
What do you mean accept?
Or do you have an issue with that?
What do you mean by accept?
Do you accept that people do go in life and believe in something? Can you accept that?
Obviously.
I have evidence of it. I have evidence that people believe in God, so I accept that claim.
You live in America, correct? We all live in America. Do you live in America?
Yes, I live in America.
Do you have a passport?
Nope.
Okay, there's thousands of very strong atheists.
Okay, just to be clear, we are all aware that atheists. Wait, Ivan. We are all aware that atheists exist. We're all aware that God believers exist. My question is, if God is real, I would like to know about it. So, what evidence do we have that God does exist?
Once again, why do you keep on saying God? You know He exists.
I don't know
love
that.
to just argue about it.
Wait, no, I don't know that. I don't know that God exists.
Dalton, we know this person. We know this person is a murderer, right?
Yeah.
I would ask Ashley.
Ivan. We know that you're a murderer.
But once again, why do y'all keep on believing and talking about God so much if y'all don't believe in it?
Ivan, it's because if it's true, I want to know. And to be clear, I don't actually know that God exists. If between the two of us, between Ivan and the Bible guy, one of us has a better understanding about what the Bible guy personally believes, and that would be the Bible guy. I know better than you what it is I believe and what I don't believe. I am not convinced. I do not believe. I do not know.
I don't want to change it. Why do you want to change it?
Then leave. Then don't leave and stop wasting your time. This is
you're wasting your time.
This is a debate space. I grant that. I am wasting my time with you. This is a debate space where people come up to provide arguments for the existence of a God instead of just complaining about the fact that I don't exist, that God doesn't exist. Now, I'll give you one last chance, Ivan. Are you wanting to provide an argument for God's existence, or did you just want to come up here and make claims about what you think the Bible guy knows?
You doubt.
I know I doubt. Ivan, as an atheist, I know I doubt. What do you think this adds to the conversation to point out the obvious?
Without you being a single gay male, I don't know.
I'm not gay.
You're 100% gay.
I'm 100% not gay. Ashlyn probably knows more than anyone. Ashlyn, am I gay?
If you're gay, then Ivan's an atheist.
Yeah, Ivan, you're an atheist. Welcome to atheism, Ivan. Have fun. No longer believing in God. And go waste someone else's time. Jesus Christ. Gee whiz. That's crazy work. What's with people tonight? It's crazy. All right, hopefully we'll have a not crazy person come up.
I've seen Dalton's personal Pornhub search history just to verify this.
Yeah, it's true.
The crowd.
All right, Kelt, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes.
And what pronouns do you go by?
I don't do pronouns. You can call me whatever you like. No problem.
Could you say that again without using a pronoun?
Yeah, I don't go by pronouns.
Okay, but say that without using a pronoun.
What the word I?
Yeah, I is a pronoun. It's a first person pronoun.
Yeah, no. So I, okay then.
So either you do use pronouns or you don't. If you do use them, just tell us what your pronouns are.
I don't use them, no.
You don't use them, but you just used one right then.
Well,
here, I'll grant that you don't use pronouns, but every time you use a pronoun in a sentence, you're going to hear this sound. You're going to hear the buzzer go off. Every time you use a pronoun. Wait, were y'all able to hear that? Here, let me just...
Yeah, we could hear it. We could hear it.
Okay, fantastic. You'll hear that buzzer every time you use a pronoun in a sentence, so we'll just grant that you don't use pronouns. Okay. Do you believe in a God?
Yes.
All right. I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is Ashland. We don't believe in a God. Why should we believe in a God?
Just referring back to your...
Oh, sorry. Your is a pronoun. You don't use pronouns. So why should we believe in God?
Yeah, there's obviously not going to be a debate here then.
If you're not
heard.
Oh, I'm is a pronoun. I'm hearing you, which is why I'm able to tell that you're using pronouns. So you either lied to me or you're being dishonest when you say you don't use pronouns. Which one is it? Did you lie to me or are you just dishonest?
It's quite obvious.
It is obvious that you actually do. Oh, people can refer to you as what?
People can refer to me as whatever way they like. I don't care.
Well, that's not good. What? And just give us an option.
Well,
what do you go by? Do you go by he, him, or she, her, or they, them?
Let's go by the name. Let's go by the name on the screen.
No, I didn't. I didn't ask for your name though.
Let me help you. I'm Ashland. I go by she, her pronouns.
I'm Dalton. I go by he, him pronouns. What do you go by, Kelt?
I'm not playing that game. I'm just here to give you examples. You don't want them.
Oh, sorry. I'm is also a pronoun. So it seems like you're a bit like you're contradicting yourself. On the one hand, you're like, you're saying you don't use pronouns, but on the other hand, you just keep fucking using them over and over again. It's kind of crazy. It sounds like you aren't able to think coherently.
If you want to put your ego to one side, it's funny you mentioned that because you mentioned Einstein.
Sorry. You is a pronoun. You don't use pronouns.
Do you think this makes you smart?
You. Yeah, it does make me smart. I know what pronouns are and you don't. Yeah. So
you're not coming across.
So anyways, you can tell. You can. You is a pronoun again. Stop using pronouns. You hypocrite. Either you actually just do use pronouns. You can tell us what your pronouns are. We could have already gotten to the conversation. Or you can just keep playing this. You're playing a game already. You're playing the I'm dishonest as fuck and I'm not going to tell you my pronoun game. That's the game you're playing right now. Your is a pronoun again. I'm a grammatically correct asshole. Thank you. I wouldn't. By the way, we could have already been done with this.
If you're grammatically correct, when do you
your is a pronoun again. Sorry, you gotta stop doing that.
May I ask Kelt a question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, is what makes you a man or a woman what's in between your legs?
Well, it goes to cellular level.
Is it like the thing between your legs? Like what's between your legs?
Like I say, it's XY or XX chromosomes.
Yeah, Colden, I was your fucking father last night.
Yeah. Boom. Now let's stop. How about you just like, I don't know, gird your loins and act like a man or whatever. And actually just tell me what your pronouns are. Stop being a wuss. Come on, tell me what your pronouns are. Don't be a snowflake. Tell us what your pronouns are.
You're being a snowflake. You won't let people
Oh, says the person who's afraid to answer a question.
No fear here.
Can we get some snowflakes in the comment section, everyone, for Kelt who's too afraid to answer like such a simple question? Like pronouns are very terrifying for Kelt here, and it doesn't know what pronouns it goes by.
Listen, I understand that if you have a trouble with English, that biology was also very difficult. We as an audience and as host and co-host definitely understand this. But all you have to do is literally either leave, say, I just choose to not engage with this, or you can answer the question. Those are your only two options regarding the topic right now. So you can make a choice.
We will not be moving forward to the God debate. You will either run away like a coward, or you will just answer the question. Those are your only options. No, I'm not a coward. No, I'm not. I want you to fucking have the conversation, but you have to answer the question. You have to show me, you have to demonstrate to me that you are smart and honest. And if you cannot answer my preliminary questions, you are demonstrating that you are neither.
That's fine. Kick me off.
Okay. Yeah, that's you running, by the way. If I kick you off, that's you running.
I'm not running.
What a coward. Everyone call Kelt a coward in the comment section for being too afraid to answer a single question. Okay, hopefully we'll bring someone up who's not a coward. Lex, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
What pronouns do you go by?
19. Pardon?
What pronouns do you go
by? She, her.
Look at that, Lex. I mean, sorry, not look at that, Lex. Look at that, Kelt. This person's not a coward. Isn't that crazy?
I do kind of want to ask, Lex, do you know what a W-2 is by any chance?
No, unfortunately, I don't.
FAFSA?
No, I'm sorry.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
It's either cowards or children.
Developing females, and I say that just because there are cis and non-binary and all of that. So I'm saying females to be particular with the voice, the vocal recognition. I don't know, and they did say she, her, so I believe so. Sorry, but yeah, if you can't answer that question, that as being someone who was 16 that sounded like I was 20, yeah.
It's either cowards or children. Could we talk, please? Here. 1 second. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Jesus, if you're real and you're out there, could you send us a Christian who isn't afraid to answer questions and who's actually old enough to have this conversation? Woman.
Ty Wolf, you're getting blocked because I know exactly what you mean by the statement. Ty Wolf said, hey, if she says 18, I'm good to go.
Ew. Bye, Ty Wolf, you gross motherfucker. That's crazy work. Anyways, fucking hell. All right, we'll talk to Gene. Gene is actually an adult. Now, Gene is at least 18-year-old. They go by he, him, and they are a Christian. So, Gene, why should we believe in your God?
I mean, I think you just gave me a very nice introduction.
Okay, so why should we believe in your God?
I'm terrified to talk to you specifically about this scripture, but I do want to go over some.
You think that quoting scripture is going to provide evidence for God's existence?
No. Do you do non-scripture conversation about God's existence?
I mean, I don't know how the Bible is going to prove God exists, so it's kind of your only avenue is to provide evidence that's not just quoting the Bible.
Right. How do you feel about like evidences of historical things that have happened? I'm sure you have other explanations for those.
What? Like what?
The Battle of Tolbaik.
Okay, what about that proves that a God exists?
I'm going to tell it badly, but I feel it's worth looking up. But this guy Clovis, who created France, I believe, this is my understanding, was in a battle and was losing. He was a pagan and was worshipping other gods, but then instead he decided to worship the god of his wife, Jesus.
Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, my wife worships Jesus. Please, Jesus, help me." And when he said that, the opposite general, instantly died, and he won that war.
No. That is not the complete storyline.
Even if that
like I said,
was,
I will tell badly.
Even if that were true, that still wouldn't provide evidence that God actually exists. It's like, oh, it's very fortunate
How is that not evidence?
It's evidence that a guy died, and it happened to correspond with someone like starting to worship Jesus, but like
Just FYI, this is how the Salem witch trials decided to off women.
Do you understand that correlation does not equal causation?
I do understand that. I'm asking, in this specific case, you're saying this was what are you saying this was?
A coincidence at best. Like, I need you to demonstrate that there actually is a connection between him turning to Jesus and then the general dying. Like, you need to demonstrate that there's actually a connection there, not just coincidence.
Wow. What would that look like? Do you mean like,
I don't know.
That's for you to the battle?
I don't know. That's for you to figure out. But like, do you really think that's a good argument?
I feel like I could present thousands of these kinds of things to you that would not
the plural of anecdote is not data.
What happens when we see people that pray to God and then lose battles? Is that evidence against God?
Yeah, like for example, let's say the Israelites went to war with this other group of people, and then they pray to their God, and then they end up getting the victory in the battle. Does that prove that God exists?
I mean, you know how I feel about this. I do affirm the existence of other spirits. That's a very complicated conversation.
And they're more powerful than Yahweh?
I mean, specifically, you've read the Bible. Yahweh is using them for his glory.
Wait.
Or whatever his purpose.
Well, no, in this case, though, like the Israelites were going to battle. They had Yahweh on their side. And then this other team, they offered up a sacrifice to their God. And then wrath came on the Israel. Like God wasn't able to provide
Dalton,
protection from another God.
There's a better way to frame this, and this is why I asked this question. I apologize. There is evidence that this very particular general, Clovis, he prayed in other battles and still lost. Is why I'm going to say this. It's only this particular battle that he's using as evidence, but he made similar vows, not just at
to Jesus.
Yes.
So all the other times that he lost when he prayed to Jesus, is that evidence that Jesus isn't real?
Where are you seeing that?
I literally just looked it up.
Yeah. Well, what's the
alternative date chronological conflicts? This is saying that the Battle of let's see. Renowned historians such as Yitzhak Hawk, and I cannot pronounce these, argue that Tolbiac occurred in which as after Clovis Hardia began adopting policies, meaning the battle could not have triggered this, so there's anti-evidence. And then it says some sources suggest Clovis made similar vows, experiencing a religious turning point during his campaign against the Burgundians around 500, not just Tolbiac. So...
But Gene, even you recognize that there have been other times when people have believed in Jesus, went to battle, and then lost.
And by the way, the Muslims took over most of the like the world through the Christians, right?
So,
I'm not
one instance
using
of someone
this-
happens to turn to Jesus and then they happen to win
my
a
point,
battle.
that-
You do have to recognize on some level, Gene, that this is just a bad argument, right? You got to recognize that.
No. Hold on. What I'm trying to raise here.
You need to
is
uncover
that
your mic.
Is it bad? Hello?
You sound muffled. There we go.
Hello? Okay. Is it?
Can you
Well, I'm
dim
scared
it?
'cause
Can
I
you
didn't
can
really
you
do that much?
can you prove that there is actually a correlation between the turning to Jesus and the death of the opposing general? More than just saying, "Trust me, bro." Any way that could demonstrate that this just wasn't just a coincidence.
Right. I think that's probably the most that I can do is present that story and allow you to interpret it yourself.
But there's nothing in the story that demonstrates that Jesus was the cause of the heart attack.
Gene,
I don't think it was a heart attack.
if you presented this to any modern academic or scientific field, they would throw it out. Like, I can't just be like, because the invention of indoor plumbing, and we see an increase of heart attacks, therefore plumbing caused heart disease.
Why do you think that's analogous?
Because you're doing a correlation and causation fallacy. Like this is just
no.
Yes, you've yet to, you haven't demonstrated that Jesus was the cause of this other general's heartache. You just assumed it to be the case, and you just expected to go, "Hey, look at this cool story, eh?" And then you didn't do any of the other work, and you just thought that maybe you're really gullible, and maybe that's why that was very convincing to you. But the rest of us aren't as gullible. And we're going to need a little bit more to demonstrate that there's a connection between these two things. Do you have, to be clear, you don't have anything more than that.
I mean, I can present other examples of similar things like this.
Other coincidences?
The exact same thing.
But you've already made it unfalsifiable. Because you said that the evidence against it does not prove it. So there is no way in which...
What do you mean evidence against it?
You're counting the hits and ignoring the misses. For every time that someone prays and then God doesn't help them, you don't consider that to be evidence against God. Only when God answers the prayer and it goes according to it, that's evidence for God. You're counting the hits and you're ignoring the misses.
Okay, but there are also pagan gods, right? That our people are doing things around, right?
What happens when people win battles who don't pray to anyone? What does that mean?
Okay, I mean, that's a different conversation because
It
that's
is
why
not
I was restricted.
different. It does not matter. You have to consider and you have to eliminate all variables in this situation. And you don't seek to demonstrate your point by accepting the alternative. You are rejecting the null. What that means is that you seek evidence to disprove your claim rather than support it. Because when you go to support the claim, that just is a confirmation bias. That's all that is. That's all you're doing. I think it's type 2 error.
Yeah, Gene, are you actually interested in convincing anyone of your position?
I mean, I am.
Then you need to learn to be. You need to do better. Then you need to do better. You need to recognize that for critically thinking individuals such as ourselves, we don't consider a correlation to be causation.
Like I said, you have a. I'm not going to attack you the way you're attacking me.
This is not an attack. This is me attempting to help you out. That if you really want to do a better job at this whole evangelism thing, then you need to learn certain forms of arguments will never work, at least for critically thinking individuals.
By the way, it's not an evangelizing thing. Oh my god! But
Gene, I'm sorry. I apologize.
My issue, right? Like I say, you discount that example as a coincidence.
And why did I discount it?
Because you're saying that there were other times that he was praying that nothing happened.
And is that true?
I actually don't know if that's true. That's a claim that was made.
Well, do you at least know that there are other accounts when people pray to God and then they lose battles? Do you know that to be the case?
I know that's the case. That is also not something that because the point is not that he won.
Exactly. You ignore the misses and you only look at the hits.
I probably could write a study right now that shows that when people write "I will be better" on their arm, that some of those people will get better. That's just literally reality. Now, the determiner of them writing "I will get better" on their arm is not going to be the causation. Like, you don't even have a number. Like, we can't even do a Cohen's D on this. Like, we can't do any statistical analysis on what you're saying to even determine the strength of this position. You're just presenting one person who did this. And I'm not even going to say that there might be some correlation.
And by the way, and I don't want to do statistical analysis on this, right? This is a historical event, and that was shaping
but we need statistical. We need it to be to demonstrate its relevance. Like, I'm not going to dismiss all correlation as irrelevant. I don't think that would be an honest position. I don't think that it's going to lend to demonstrating the position that you have. It could just be, by the way, that when he prayed, because praying can actually be is something that helps build us up, that someone correspondingly died, and then he gained some sort of
why would you postulate other things than the thing that
because I don't
is?
Well, because we don't have
because
evidence
we don't know.
Yeah, we don't have evidence that the supernatural exists. We do have evidence that nature exists, and therefore, I am not going to be as willing to say it was magic is the reason why the general's heart stopped. You need to do more work in order to demonstrate that there's a correlation between these two events, or else no one here is justified in believing you. We're all justified in not accepting your claims. You need to find a better argument for God's existence than just something that it could just very well be a coincidence.
Yeah, you also do have to for all we know, this general ate red meat and did whatever and lived a horrible life, and that's why he keeled over. We have no idea on the surrounding circumstance. We don't even know that if that was maybe that was a turning point in some degree, but then I don't know, for some reason other aspects, other variables of why they won.
Millions of possible things.
Yeah, when we look at covariance, we have to be able to, in order to have the highest degree of certainty, cope. No, this is just how we are able to repeat things and make novel predictions. This is just how academia works in scientific endeavors. Yeah, if you don't like that, that's fine. But I hope that you use medicine, which is held to this standard, and that's how we come to these conclusions. In no way would it be if you presented this to the FDA in some sort of analogous version of a medicine, that would probably unalive millions of people.
Why would that be the standard for spiritual issues? Is the FDA?
Because I don't want to be duped into believing things that aren't true. I hold the same standard for every claim, Gene. I don't want to believe false things, and I'm just as likely to believe one supernatural claim as the next, based on the very poor standards that you are presenting to us.
And not only this, Gene. The fact is that we know that medicine heals people. We have evidence of that. So, in fact, your claim requires a higher degree of demonstration because we don't know that supernatural exists. So to get to a correlation that involves God, to be remotely able to sway opinion, right? You have to demonstrate that supernatural exists in the first place. It has to be a part of the possibility, the statistics, the data that are there to come up with that conclusion. But we have no evidence of that. Yeah, absolutely.
Do you find it interesting that every single society, aside from like the post-Enlightenment ones that we're in, worships?
No, they don't.
Oh, yeah, sure. I find it interesting that a lot of a majority of individuals do this. My degree is in psychology. I find it interesting for a different reason.
To be clear, though, there are societies in the world that don't worship deities. The Paraha people, not only do they not worship gods, they don't even have a word for God in their language.
Yeah, I find it interesting that I would say that it's a vast majority do, but there's a reason and a naturalistic explanation for why this is. So, for example, it would probably be very helpful in battle, as you just shown, that it would give people courage to do things that otherwise wouldn't. It would help them cope with the aspect that in battle they might die. It also it helps, as far as we're aware, I'm not saying this is a blanket statement, we're the only people that, or the species that exist, that have to continue living life realizing that we might die. That could be tremendously bad for existence as far as being able to be productive in society and do things without some sort of deity. We also know that there are God spots. There are multiple of these that can be just essentially have aspects of electricity sent through, and it can invoke a religious experience or a spiritual experience. There's a number of different reasons why this is the case that are explainable by naturalistic things rather than supernatural. In fact, many societies believed a lot of different wild things prior to this. In fact, I don't think that you would support that virginity is this thing that we should seek after in women. But a lot of societies did agree with that. And same with flat earth theory. A vast majority of societies agree that flat earth were true prior to, certain maths and other scientific endeavors to show that it wasn't the case. You're doing a fallacy known as, what the frig is, appeal to popularity, which is problematic. That's not how we go about viewing the world.
Okay, no, my claim about that is not just the fact that it happened a lot, but that the fact that it takes that specific form is very strange, considering the form that we have now seems like obviously more reasonable, right? Why would that ever happen at all?
What?
I don't know what that means.
You're being vague. What?
The Abrahamics are very it's reasonable to assume why the Abrahamics exist in the quantities of the quantities of peoples that it existed. It was won by the sword.
Yahweh belief wasn't very popular until Christianity spread it.
I'm saying, if you were to build a new world, why would you have people imagine fake gods?
They didn't think they were fake. You misunderstand. You misunderstand this, Gene.
I know.
So what happened is that you had people who engaged in something called hyperagency detection awareness. There are two humans out in the field. They hear a rustling in the bushes. One thinks the predator and it runs. The other one doesn't think it's the predator. He thinks it's just the wind and he stays still. What happens if it is a predator? Who survives that encounter?
The one that runs?
The one that runs. The one that assumes there's an agent present, even if it doesn't know for sure. What happens if you have this sort of phenomenon occurring over millions of years, where the ones who survive are the ones who who their first intuition is that when they hear or see something that they don't see what's behind it, they assume an agent's behind it. And the ones who don't assume this, they die. What do you think? What would become more prevalent in society?
People with the agency view.
Right. So you would eventually you would have. Eventually you have a lot of individuals who have a really strong sense of hyper agency detection awareness. They assume agents are present even when they don't have direct evidence of this. So as soon as why do the rivers run? Why do the trees move? Well, there's someone moving it. Well, I can't see them. They must be invisible. And then on top of that, you have individuals who end up having bereavement hallucinations, where they see loved ones in hallucinations after they die. All of this built together is enough to create the idea of spirits. And then what happens? You start honoring your ancestors. You start honoring your spirits of your ancestors. Maybe you even start giving them gifts. You build little shrines to them. Some of those ancestors are more powerful because you think the ancestor can provide protection for you. They can cause it to rain. They can look over you.
Or from a social species perspective, punish those who do wrong according to your society.
And then what happens?
Because that.
And then what happens when one of the
explain that?
And then what happens?
Could you explain the punishment one?
Yeah, if you like think that like, oh, this person got sick and I can't see what caused them to get sick. Maybe it was this invisible agent, and I didn't like this person. Perhaps my invisible agent, my ancestor, is protecting me and harmed them. It's not a huge jump for people.
Or you need certain things to cooperate and exist in society. Like you can't go around punching someone in the face because if we all go around punching each other in the face, it's very problematic to making people feel comfortable and safe in order to work or do the things that they need to do to survive. And now you have some deity or some function from that being, and you get spiritual leaders that write down the rules of how society is going to function. Me just telling you not to punch someone in the face versus, hey, if you do this, you will be damned to all eternity or have some sort of consequence to this, like Dalton mentioned, died of sickness, then yeah, now it has utility in society.
Yeah. By the way, none of this. I don't know what you're on about that. By the way, none of this is nuanced. None of this is new. None of this is us making this up. This is what's called the cognitive science of religion studies. And it's like, this is quite a well-known field of study. I
know. Well,
yeah. So
why should have like these views?
No, right? Not just me. Like we know that people have a hyper agency detection awareness.
Yes.
Yeah, and you believe in magic. Why should we take it to be the case that your supernatural beliefs are more likely to be true than our naturalistic explanations that we have like priors for?
Right. It's like if we take, that's a difficult, right? But if we take this example of we're using these stories, you can say you can justify anything with these stories from your perspective, right? They can do anything.
Can I tell you the truth, Gene? I'm exceptionally bored with this conversation.
Yeah, I don't.
You're just incapable of seeing the shortcomings of your arguments, and I don't know what to do with you at that point.
Yeah.
If you can't, just know you're not going to be able to convince any like skeptics with these arguments.
I'm not trying to convince. I'm trying to reach a common ground, which I don't think it's possible.
You won't be able to.
I'm not trying to convince you.
You won't be able to so long as you're talking to a skeptical person who takes these things seriously. You need to do better. You need to learn about logical fallacies. You need to learn about like skepticism, just critical thinking in general.
Skepticism is the problem.
No, it's not. It's the solution. You are far too gullible, and you believe things far too easily. And the rest of us who actually care about what's true, we're not willing to engage in this laziness of thought. But Gene, we're gonna move on because we're not getting anywhere with you.
It was nice having a conversation.
Skepticism is the reason you're talking on a cell phone right now.
Yeah. For real. It's At Fern Love Bond with the $2. Ashlyn Penguin. Also AWTB. And at Fern Love Bond again with the $2. Did you like and send out the stream? Be cool, do that. Peace and penguins. Absolutely. Y'all heard Fern. Like the stream, send it out, and that way we'll get more conversations going on. And at Ander Romero with the I think it's a Brazilian currency. Let me see, that is 54.90. Let's see, what? It's like a Brazilian Ray something. A Brazilian Reais. Brazilian Reais. Saying, thank you for your donation. No, thank you for your donation. And at E-Money Snipes with the $50. Big W to E-Money Snipes. Thank you for today's live has been brought to you by E-Money Snipes. You and Ashlyn have been a huge part of my deconstruction. Indoctrination can be reversed. We're all living proof. You give me hope for humanity. I appreciate you, and please keep doing Peggy's work. Absolutely, E-Money Snipes. Super a big W, everyone, to put a W in the comment section for E-Money.
E-Money.
Bring in that E-Money. But yeah, we super appreciate. Yeah, say something about this, Ashlyn.
Well, it's not just the money as well. It's
no, say something about the other thing, not the money, the deconstruction part.
Well, yeah. That's what I'm saying is that like it's like the part Dalton quit his job not because Dalton has ever been like money hungry or anything like that. It's Dalton has a passion for this, and we both have a passion for like doing what we do. And a lot of times, like we can't do what we do if people don't tell us like, hey, this is working for me, because like if it's not, we do want to know. So it's very, very helpful, and we really appreciate hearing people say like, hey, you know, you're part of this, and we appreciate that. So we appreciate you for just telling us.
Yeah, for real. All right. We're gonna do a quick restart on the TikTok stream. And we'll get some new Christians in here, or Jewish people, or Muslims, or any God believer. Hopefully we'll get something better than just coincidence as an argument for God's existence. But we'll take a look. We'll be right back, everybody. Yeah, like man, every time I hear from somebody that we've helped them deconstruct in one way or another, it really does help me like push forward in this work, knowing that I'm having a positive effect on the world. Means a lot. Like, you guys have no idea. Here, I'll put under Gene. Let's see. Probably put in the notes. Didn't have anything better than coincidence. You're a positive effect because you're here being you. I appreciate that, Velvet Worm. I try so hard to be me. Every day I say I should be me, and I do just okay at it. Let's see. Tiny. Yeah. Make sure everyone that you call in at tinyurl.com/BG show Discord. If you're on YouTube and you see a theist who's chirping in the comment section, don't mind. You can pressure them into calling in. Let them know that there's a place where they can like actually like show us that they're not full of it. And at Saunders Seeker with the $49.99, big W to Saunders Seeker. Dalton, you were absolutely cooking. Amazing. More of you and the Bible. More of me and the Bible. Yes, the two. Me, Ashley, and the Bible were like the Holy Trinity of deconstruction. Absolutely.
We also love to see the Palestinian flag, Iranian flag, Egyptian flag, and the pride flag. So
love that.
All great flags to add to that.
Yeah. And a quick reminder, everyone, that starting this upcoming Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time on the BG on the tinyurl.com/BG Show Discord, I have a channel set up over there specifically for the Bible Guy book club, where we will be reading books, academic scholarly books on the Bible, one chapter every Sunday, learning more to help us better in all of our discourse here on TikTok and YouTube, help you better in your debates if you know more about the Bible. I'm thinking so far that the first book we will be going forward to read is one that's very accessible, not too difficult, not very long, and it would be Dr. Dan McClellan's book, The Bible Says So. We will be reading that as our starter book. And we'll move on to more and more works in the future. Let's see. Yeah, but Big W to E-Money and Sonder Seeker. Which Discord? It's not our regular Discord, which is where all of our people hang out and chat, but rather this Discord is dedicated to two things. It's dedicated to call-ins from the YouTube side. It's dedicated for the Bible Guy Book Club. So it's tinyurl.com/BG Show Discord. I will be adding that link to my link tree pretty soon. And at Sonder Seeker again with the $19.99 with the, which flag is this? Let's see, half blue and yellow flag. Let's see.
Ukraine?
Is it?
I think.
Let's see. Ukraine flag. Yep, it's the Ukraine flag. Absolutely. Big support for Ukraine over there.
I have absolutely no idea about other flags outside of like geopolitical context. So sorry, people. So sorry.
We got Beaver here. Beaver, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions and then we'll get to the conversation. Question number 1, are you at least 18 years old?
Yeah.
And what pronouns do you go by?
My inherent pronouns are he, him.
And are you a God believer of some kind?
Yep.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible Guy. This is my co-host Ashland. We don't believe in a God. Why should we believe in a God?
Sure, because of the S5 axiom.
What is that?
Sure, S5 axiom is just going to be referring to if something is possible, it's a modal duality that it's necessary possible, and in the same duality, if something is possibly necessary.
In English, for all of us who aren't philosophy nerds. I'm a Bible nerd, not a philosophy nerd.
Sure, sure. It's just going to be a self-evident axiom that is necessary in preventing a contradiction from being possible. So,
what contradiction?
Sure. If P being possible is not necessarily possible, then it would be possible that it's not possible in the same respect.
Well, you said the word possible like 3 fucking times there.
Yeah.
You think you can break this down for us, buddy?
Sure. So again, simply the S5 axiom just states that if something is possible, it's necessarily possible, and if something is possibly necessary, then it's necessary.
All right. Is God possible?
Yeah.
Okay, make the argument for
that. Sure, there is no contradiction between the minimalist deism claim of...
And by minimalist deism, we mean what?
Sure, just a like an unmoved mover, necessary being, like one that is the origin for all contingent things.
Why can't the universe just be the necessary thing?
Yeah, that's pantheism. So that would still disprove atheism.
No, because under pantheism, it's not really theism. It's just atheism, but like I'm too afraid to be an atheist. By God, we mean a supernatural being. We're not talking about the universe, but you just call it God because at that point, what's even the point of using the word God? Words need to have meaning.
Sure. Okay. All right. Fine. If you want me to focus on just supernatural being, then sure. So the reason why,
because you're not a pantheist, right?
No.
And you're not like trying to support a pantheistic God. You're trying to support like a supernatural being that is an agent. It has a mind. It probably has some omni properties. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I would hold to theism, but for theism, deism would be like one of the axioms to prove theism. But sure, I can explain why the necessary being.
And we atheists don't really consider pantheists to really be theists. Like they're just atheists who are afraid to come out.
Yeah. Okay. So believing that the universe is the this necessary and uncontingent thing would be contradictory, and that's because if it were to be the substance in which all other potent things come from, then it itself can't be potent. But because it was brought into existence, it has potency.
Give the argument for that. I'm not convinced that the universe popped into existence.
Oh yeah, sure. It's a contradiction otherwise. So believing that the universe is eternal.
Yeah, what's the contradiction in that?
Yeah, I was about to explain. So believing that the universe is eternal means that there are whichever moment you would choose. That exists within time, there would be an infinite amount of moments completed before.
Are you under the assumption that you would have to travel through time in order to get to the present?
I'm saying that
because I don't hold to A theory of time.
Yeah, B. What do you think? All B theory means is just that there is that time would be relative in accordance to whatever changes happen,
and that past, present, and future are all actual.
Yeah, equally existing doesn't mean that.
There's no need to travel through the time. Like you don't need to get to from point A to point B because point A and point B are both very real.
That doesn't. All you said is point A and point B are very real. That doesn't mean that change doesn't happen between them.
Wait, but it really doesn't. There's only like this appearance of it because, like, for example, the moment in time when the seed exists and the moment in time when the flower exists are both real, and each sliver of time is equally real in every single moment in between are equally real.
Did the seed have to go to a different moment in time to change?
No. Each moment of time has its own like instance.
How many moments of time exist in the B theory of time that you hold?
I don't know, like maybe an infinite.
No, it would have to be an infinite, otherwise there'd be a beginning. So
yeah, sure, it's an infinite.
Believing that there are an infinite amount of time existing collapses into why there wouldn't be any change between any point, because there would be an infinite amount of moments. Like sure, like measuring the time is arbitrary.
I'm not seeing the problem here.
It's completing something that never ends. That's the contradiction.
Wait, completing would imply that you're having to again move through the set.
Yeah, you need. Yeah, time still needs to pass for, in accordance to what is changing.
Time appears to pass for us.
Yeah, so
I DM'd Quantanaut, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
You believe that that there are infinite amount of moments.
Yeah.
Before any other moment on this timeline, correct?
Yep. And I didn't have to get to the present.
Mean?
Before is a word we use to refer to events that take place before other events. I use the word before in a sequence, like they refer prior, seemingly prior.
An infinite amount of moments. Yeah, so you just admitted the contradiction. An infinite amount of moments.
No contradiction there.
Before any other moment.
Well, no, not completed because that implies that. Well, not completed because that would imply that like they remained in some sort of state that wasn't yet. But in B theory time, all those moments of time are really real. Hey, Quantonaut, do you want to help our friend here better understand B theory of time?
I already explained what you didn't refute me. You just agreed that whatever moment you choose on B theory, there's always an infinite amount of moments before.
Yeah,
but
you don't have to travel through it. Yeah, go ahead, Quantonaut.
The main idea of B theory is that there is no privileged concept of the present. There is no privileged concept of the present.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay, sure. That doesn't refute me.
Which means that all moments of time are equally real as every other moment.
Okay.
And
the concept of passing through time is an illusion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give me
There's no passing through time.
Okay, can you give me any moment on that B theory set to which that there wasn't an infinite amount of moments before that point?
That doesn't make any sense.
You can just keep going in any direction. Do you have any issue with the universe not being spatially infinite? Or being spatially infinite?
Spatially infinite? I wouldn't say that. Like, I don't see the contradiction that would...
Awesome, because it's the same with time. It's mathematically identical.
Yeah, we don't measure time using mathematics. That's completely wrong.
Actually, well, I mean, we describe it mathematically. What? Famously.
Yeah, describing it would still... and also, you didn't answer what I asked before. I'm asking, on any moment that really exists equally, on B theory of time, how many moments were before any moment you choose?
Potentially infinite.
It's not But
again, Beaver, what you don't seem to understand is that under B theory of time, no one is having to traverse the infinite to get to any destination. Like, for example, I have lived for 30 years of my life. Okay. Every single moment are real moments of time that actually exist. And and every single moment of time has a Dalton. And none of those versions of Dalton are themselves undergoing change. It's that there's because that's how B theory time works.
The block exists.
How many real
You're a four-dimensional object that is static.
How many real numbers are in between 0 and 31?
Infinite.
So,
or specifically Aleph 1, I think.
Okay. Because we don't know if there is an objective way to measure time, all we know is that there is such a way.
Wait, that was a wild claim. What do you mean we don't have an objective way to measure time? Of course we do.
No, I'm saying that we don't, like, for instance, seconds or years. We don't know if that is true, like, metaphysically in a way
What do you mean true? A year is just the time it takes for the Earth to go around the sun.
Which is an objective thing.
Yes, I know, but I'm saying...
And if you want to get into physics, we actually usually use natural units where the speed of light is just defined as 1.
Yeah, I'm saying, that's all I'm saying. I'm just saying that the units that we count by, like the sortal...
Who cares about the units?
No, the sortal would be arbitrary. That's all I'm saying.
Who cares about the units? And we can switch to using units that are not arbitrary, like natural units.
I'll explain
These
why.
are determined by fundamental constants.
I'll explain why. The reason why it's a problem if units are arbitrary is because when trying to equate the timeline to conceptual infinities existing in mathematics, it's a false equivalence because we don't know if we are counting the same.
I just said we could use non-arbitrary units.
Mathematics. No,
I just said we could use non-arbitrary units.
Okay, go ahead.
We can use non-arbitrary units defined by the fundamental constants of the universe.
Yeah, is that sortal counting method the same as in mathematics?
What counting method?
Under the sortal.
Why are we talking about counting methods?
No, under the sortal that you're using.
Sortal? What's a sortal?
Oh my gosh. Sortal is just going to be the thing that has hexeity in which you are counting by. So when you are counting years, the sortal would be years in relation to one Earth rotation around the sun.
You can, if you want to use something that's non-arbitrary, you can use Planck times.
Okay, explain. Okay, if I chose to count by years instead of quant times or whatever you just said, would that be
Planck.
valid?
Planck.
Planck time, yeah. If I chose to count by seconds instead of Planck time, is that equally valid?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
You can convert between the two.
Lack of epistemology for Planck time still makes it arbitrary.
What do you mean
Someone
lack?
can wake up and
It's not
choose not to
arbitrary.
use it.
Planck times are defined by the fundamental constants of the universe. It's not arbitrary. Famously.
That's how.
That's why they're called natural units, because they're not
That's
arbitrary.
how it's predicated in counting. I'm saying the reason to believe in using it to count is arbitrary. That's why it's still arbitrary. Because someone can wake up one day and choose to not use it and
But
use seconds.
they can
instead.
choose to not use it, but it's objective
literally
counting
just a-
method.
Oh, really?
it's just a
can
scale
I wake
factor
up-
between them. It doesn't
Can I
change
wake
the
up one day-
cardinality of the set.
Can I wake up one day and choose to not follow the laws of logic?
What laws of logic? We're talking about physics.
Oh my gosh, you just ran. Yes or
Wait,
no?
what do you
Can I
mean by
wake up one day?
What do you mean in a normative
Yes or no?
sense?
Can I wake up one day and choose to not
Beaver,
follow the laws of logic?
Beaver. You need to. You're getting a little bit testy. You need to take it down a little
Yes
bit.
or no?
Dalton, write this down. You just ran.
Yeah,
Write
you
it
just.
down.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay, I need to add that to the Philbro card. Yeah,
Philbro?
you
What are
just
you
ran.
talking about?
Philbro.
Beaver,
Don't
Do you know what a
don't-
cardinality is?
Answer the question. I'm
Like,
trying to
if
show
you want
that
to get
don't
mixed in the
if
jargon,
it was
let's talk about
truly-
cardinality of sets, shall
If
we?
it was truly
You
okay, sure.
just
For how
ran.
many sets before any moment you choose on B theory? How many
That's
sets?
not
is it
how
before
set
that?
theory works.
See how you ran.
That's
How
not
many
a.
sets
That's not a
are
run,
there
Beaver.
before any
Beaver.
moment?
It's not about number of
Oh my
sets.
God.
It's about the cardinality of the set
Here,
itself.
wait 1 second. I want
If the-
Beaver.
if the-
Stop
real,
running.
real quick, real quick. I want Beaver. I want you to take a second. I want you to breathe in with me, okay? Because you're getting testy, okay? I want to have a civil conversation
That's
here.
not a counter
So, Beaver, it's not an argument. I didn't make. That's not a counter. I grant that. I wasn't countering you right now. Now, I want you to take a moment. I want you to breathe in, and I want you to breathe out. You're okay. There's no reason for you to get aggravated and get testy. Okay? Now, calmly and rationally and reasonably, like a civilized human being, say what you need to say. Go ahead.
Yeah, so when I asked how many real moments existed before any other moment in the B theory of time, Quantum or whatever his name is said potentially infinite. So I wanted to ask, does that mean it's possibly finite?
Yeah, it is possibly finite.
So how is this a counter argument to me claiming that the universe is finite if your counter argument agrees it's possible?
Well, we don't have to have a deductive proof to show that it's not possible. If you're making the argument that it's finite, that would be that burden would be on you.
No, because I'm showing you how if it was infinite, there would be a contradiction. But then you saying possibly infinite is trying to run away from the contradiction by granting my
I never
moment.
made the claim that it is.
Wait,
Okay.
sorry. Can
If we were
Did you
to
forget the
clarify
claims that
something?
I've made?
If we were
I just
to
got up
assume
here.
P, if we were to assume it's infinite before any given moment on the B theory block, would that be a completed infinity if it was before?
I see the issue here.
There's no such thing as a completed infinity. The whole timeline is infinite.
Six, you say you see the problem
You
here.
didn't answer the question.
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah.
I'm able to jump in here.
If
Yeah.
it's before, was
Beaver,
it completed?
Beaver, wait a minute. I have Sticks who wants to
Yes
jump
or
in.
no?
So go ahead,
So
Sticks.
is the claim on the table, Beaver? I just want to clarify your position that an actual infinity cannot be instantiated in reality.
Well,
I would say-
he's already
would say-
admitted that space can be infinite, actually.
I'm saying that for what we know about the universe, like that would include time and space. So for time, yeah, we know that an actual infinity can exist in time.
Can or can't?
Yeah, can't. In time,
Oh,
can't.
is that a
Yeah,
logical?
no, the
contradiction?
evidence does not support
Yeah.
that conclusion.
Yeah, something.
Wait, please.
Oh, it's axiomatic evidence. I'm giving
Wait,
it to you.
What's an act?
It's-
Okay, is it a
Here.
P?
That's
Is there?
not how
Here,
axioms
here,
work.
Quantum.
Yes,
Let's
it is. It
let's
absolutely.
let Sticks have his
Evidence-
moment
you know
to
what
take this
evidence
guy. Beaver, shut up.
You know
Sure,
what
sure.
evidence
Beaver,
means?
Beaver,
That's not what
Beaver.
evidence means.
Here, Beaver, hush. Sticks is trying to respond to you. Sticks, go ahead.
Look, do you take it to be the case that within the logical modality, it entails a contradiction for there to be an infinite set of antecedent moments?
Yeah, within time. Yep.
Okay, what's the P and not P?
Sure. Something that never ends ended.
Well, that's just to be clear. Something that never ended is not the same thing as something that didn't
No,
have a beginning.
something that never ends, by definition, ended.
Well, do you think a past infinite universe where there's an infinite set of antecedent moments is saying
Past
something
just
about
means
its end?
completed. No,
Okay.
I'm
Let's try
using
this a different
past
way.
as why it's completed, not
Hey,
as
hey,
it's
Beaver. You're
out,
gonna
Beaver.
need to take it down a notch. I've been listening to you. I get you're being a little bit dogpiled. We're trying to control the conversation. You're just now speaking to Sticks. Can we take a deep breath once again and just have a conversation? We're not trying to like make you look like the bad guy here. We're really trying to listen to you.
Okay. The problem is that what you're saying is that an actual infinity can't obtain in reality, but a potential infinity could, correct?
No, because I do hold to B theory, but I believe in eternity, because if the infinity were to exist, like for all moments equally existing, even if the future was potentially infinite, because of B theory, it would be actualized because all moments would equally exist. So no, that's why I still hold to B theory, but I think that that time begins and it ends. That's why I hold to eternity.
So when you say that time began in what you're not saying is that there's a finite number of moments in the past. That's what you are saying.
Yep,
Okay.
and there's a
And
finite
you're saying
moment.
it's a logical contradiction for there to be an infinite set of antecedent moments. So what's the P and not P?
Something that never ends ended.
Wait, but that past infinite universe model is not a thing that didn't end.
What does past mean?
In the direction of time, it's just going to be like antecedent to now.
No. What does past mean in relative to the moment you were observing it from?
Sticks did just give you the answer. That was an acceptable answer.
He
Yeah,
equivocated.
and if you want to actually give it in
equivocated.
terms of units, in terms of the arrow of time, you could talk about it in terms of the direction in which entropy decreases.
Yeah, no, so he equivocated. I want it to in relative to the moment you are observing it from, or the respect.
I'm sorry that we're not giving you the answer that you want to hear, but
Yeah,
that's
that's
just
called
the
running.
answer.
That's called running.
What was my
Hey,
answer?
great.
Wait, Beaver, what was my answer?
No one here is running, Beaver. Oh, he ran.
Oh,
He ran.
Oh,
Holy shit.
man.
He said that's called running and then proceeds to fucking run. Insane.
I wanted to give him a lesson on the cardinality of infinite sets. It's so fun.
Here, I gotta give him a insane. Wow, the hypocrisy
Damn.
of saying he ran while running.
It
Someone's gonna draw a
didn't
picture
sound
of
like
that.
someone that wanted to actually have an honest dialogue on the conversation, just wanted to prove their point.
Man,
That's
yeah.
why they were getting
Well,
so frustrated.
That's the thing
I've done the same thing where I've wanted to win, and then I just fought to a point where I was like getting people correcting me. Like, that happens, don't get me wrong, but come on, we learn and we grow from that. So hopefully if you're still in here, you can come back eventually and have an honest dialogue. It's fine that people aren't going to run down your dialogue tree.
Yeah, one of the qualities, everyone, that we have about the Filbro, one of the qualities of the Filbro, we've already discussed yesterday, that the quick succession of speech. Today, the other quality of the Filbro is that the Filbro is not actually interested in convincing you of their position. They want to win. That is their ultimate objective. They want to just get a big W for themselves that they can hang on their wall and show off to everybody. They're not sincerely interested in actually having you understand what they're saying. They want to use jargon that no one understands. They go into spaces where they know the individual in question is not a philosophy individual, and they engage in very technical philosophy in order to make their opposition look like stupid. Which, granted, I'm not a philosophy nerd. I'm the Bible guy, so I'm willing to grant that. But like, if you're not willing to explain your concepts in a way that anyone can understand, I'm not convinced that you really understand them. And I'm not, or either that, or you're not interested in actually like bridging the gap of understanding and like convincing your interlocutor. So it's
Dalton, we need you to like put on a David Attenborough voice and describe the wild Filbro in terms of its behavior. And
I saw that comment too.
But both, by the way, both Styx and Quantanaut, I have witnessed them in several lives. If someone doesn't understand, they're able to sit there and explain it to them, and
Not
and
just
then
able.
not and then not judge them.
Thoroughly enthusiastic to explain.
And not just like sit there and be like, oh, you don't know.
By the way, I've had this idea for a little bit now, and it's a thing that I would love to bring to fruition one day, but it's not something I can bring to fruition on my own. We have a morning show on Sundays called The Unapologetic Show, and it has a Bible guy, a philosophy guy, and a science guy. And I thought, man, wouldn't the people love to have a show in the afternoon, right after the Unapologetic Show ends, where
West
they get
Coast Avengers.
when they West Coast Avengers
West
version of the
Coast Avengers.
Unapologetics, where they
Yep.
get a Bible guy, a philosophy guy, and a science guy to come up. Everyone, let me know, and we'll see if Styx and Quant and I want to join me on this adventure. I would love to have a B show that takes place after the A show, where you can just get more of the same.
I would be so down for that.
What about you, Styx? Would you be down for something like that?
Absolutely, as long as you properly advertise me as Timu philosophy guy.
Timu philosophy guy. I have to figure out how before I can do that. There are some things that I need to figure out. For example, not just having you guys sit here on a panel, but actually having you guys up on the screen with me, like they do on Unapologetic.
Sure, like Justin.
Like Justin set up, which Justin has me now testing some proprietary streaming tech that might make that more easier for me. And if that is the case, then we can do it that way. If not, we can settle for this sort of setup. But the ideal would be to do it like they do on UA. So everyone, let me know what you think about that idea.
It's Chase Teaches Physics birthday today. Just FYI, I was just informed.
Happy birthday, Chase!
Happy birthday.
Chase, I know you just messaged me again. I cannot access that because I'm on my phone with TikTok. But yeah, thank you for telling me so we can all wish you a happy birthday. Yeah, I know you, Quantinaut, and Blitz are like having people like yourself like be a part of the atheist lives when we, as atheists, like we don't know all these things. We appreciate you. And happy another year around the sun, but apparently time's not real in that sense. I guess it's arbitrary. So you're not actually older.
Speaking of which, at Brian Peck with the $5.
It's all relative.
Are Phil Bros not guilty of argumentum ad verbosum? They can be quite verbose. Is this a real term, by the way? Argumentum ad verbosum, or is this just purely for shits and giggles? Because it seems pretty legitimate to me. Because it's kind of like another
it's
thing.
Giving Gish Gallop.
It's a very similar thing that we talked about yesterday. The fast succession speech of Phil Bros. Another thing that Phil Bros do is it's fast speech mixed with technical jargon. It's like shooting your opposition with like a large array of bullets all at once.
That actually is an actual fallacy called the shotgun fallacy.
Shotgun fallacy.
Oh, and this differs. Also, Bystix, thank you for coming up. It's different from making a claim and then seemingly knowing nothing about it, like I did with the individual prior to this, which is like they were like everything's Fibonacci, but they didn't even know what Fibonacci was.
Oh no! It's like sacred geometry people, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Sacred geometry.
Like you don't have to know everything about it. I do love me some rhetoric to dismiss a guest. Don't get me wrong. I think that is a helpful and useful tool, especially on these lives. But I don't think that it shows everything. Like if you're unable to explain anything about the argument, like not being able to like use simple terms or describe it in ways that may be even slightly inaccurate to say like, okay, well, this isn't going to be the exact thing, but here's how you can look at it.
I have a message.
Type of conversation.
I have a message here. I'm going to read it real quick. If beer is possible, then possible beer is potential, and potential beer is potentially drinkable. Thus, actual beer must also be drinkable, and if drinkable beer is present, a drinker is a necessity for the drinkability of all potential beers, and all drinkers are by nature agents which drink any potential beer, and thus all beer is impossible drinking and actual, and it has been drunk already. And it's very potent. It
That was
sticks.
Fern.
That was Fern.
Was that Fern?
That was Fern.
Yeah, I don't think that's what S5 is actually saying, but I did appreciate the humor in it.
All right. Yeah, okay. Just for some reason, I don't know if y'all can also, I mean, on TikTok, on YouTube, y'all can see it, but like Quantanaut is still loading in, even though they are definitely here. It's so strange. Like I can't even, you're not even, like if on my multi-guest thing, you're not even here. It's just me and Ashlyn, but you're up on the panel, but you're still like, it's very strange. But yeah, doesn't matter as long as you're here, and you're able to interact with everyone.
Quantanaut is actually participating in a theory of time.
I was.
Is that so?
He is both here and not here at the same time. This is very quantum.
Oh yes, I am the Schrodinger cat.
Yes, exactly.
And this is my box.
Host, why here, this is a really interesting question. Host, why shampoo do you use? Looks healthy, good on you, man. I use Head and Shoulders.
No, but why?
Yeah, but why? That's a philosophy question. Anyways, if you're on YouTube and you would like to have a conversation with us, make sure to call in at tinyurl.com/BG Show Discord. If you're on TikTok and you're a theist and you would like to come up and give us a reason to think that God exists, maybe you can do a better job than Beaver did. Don't leave it to Beaver. That's all I gotta say. Dalton, what's your favorite?
I probably should be hopping down. I need to get better at not using my phone in the evening because it's starting to mess up my sleep schedule.
My sleep schedule.
I'm an old man.
I've given up on my sleep schedule officially. I wake up around 2 p.m. I go to bed at 5. I go to bed at 5 a.m. and I walk my dog right before I go to bed and right when I wake up.
Well, you got a system.
Yeah, it's a system, I suppose.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. See you, Quant. But yeah,
Thank you, Quantanaut. We appreciate you.
Everyone,
I appreciate you too.
Let me know how y'all feel about the West Coast Unapologetic show. Even though I don't know if any of us are actually on the West Coast, but you get the idea. The B Theory show. But we have
the unapologetic extension.
Yeah, extension. At Lynn, Peggy loves an extension. Lynn's West Silver Web with the $5. Setting up a broadcast stream like UA or even shows like or others is somewhat simple. You just need the tedious part of configuring your OBS. Well, that's the thing. With Justin's new tech, the idea is that I wouldn't need to use OBS anymore at all. This new tech is supposed to streamline and replace OBS and make this streaming a lot more simpler and with a lot more features. That is the idea, at least, as I understand it.
So we have to think about not just like what a tech can do, but usability. For example, like Dalton was using Video Ninja, and I like Joel reads the Bible, right? They use Discord, so I was like, okay, I learned from that. Dalton has much more experience with Discord, so it's not about like that there aren't solutions to these problems. Like OBS is probably standardized one of the best, probably even has like less glitches or something than anyone else. I don't know about tech, but if someone can't use it on a mass scale when we're trying to get people into these like streaming platforms to be able to not have like maybe they have really good voices to be had or heard, I think Justin's idea is like profound and really great to get people who maybe just don't have the experience with technology but have a lot of experience with other knowledge. Like, yeah.
Isaac in the comment section over on TikTok says, "Have you read the Bible? Have I, the Bible guy, read the Bible? No. What is this Bible you speak of? Never heard of it." At Coffee College with the $2. The badass mods need a toast. Mods are greater than gods. Absolutely. A toast to all my mods. Mods better and greater than gods. I agree. Follow the path of Jesus. He is leading you. The path of Jesus. Crucifixion? No, thank you. It's the most famous book in the whole world. No kidding. Maybe you can come up and tell me all about it. But we have another guest coming up. Question mark. I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we'll get to the conversation. Are you at least 18?
All right. Yeah.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And are you a God believer of some kind?
Yes.
What God would that be?
I am a Catholic Christian.
All right. I'm Dalton, the Bible guy. This is Ashlyn. Why should we believe in the Catholic God?
All right. So let me ask you something. You're an atheist, right?
Yes.
What made you stop believing in God?
I just thought about it and realized I didn't have any good reason to believe in God. I first, like in steps.
Wait, hold on. Sorry.
In steps, I left Christianity first because I realized that Jesus wasn't the Messiah because he didn't fulfill any prophecies from the Old Testament. And then I left Judaism when I found out that Yahweh was like just another deity amongst an ancient Near Eastern pantheon amongst the Canaanites, and that the Exodus, we have no reason to think it happened. And I applied the same skepticism to the Old Testament that I did to the New Testament. And then I was a deist for a little bit, and then I came to the conclusion that I just didn't have any good reasons to think that a God existed. And so I became an atheist.
All right, I understand.
I'll have to ask you not to do that.
Yeah, that was going to be what I was going to ask. People have
No dipping.
Dipping?
Or
whatever mouth sounds that you're making are...
Oh, man, I'm eating some sunflower seeds.
Yeah, don't do that. You can wait until after the conversation's over.
So when you say you came to the conclusion that you didn't have any good reasons to believe God exists, are you saying you think there is no God, or just that you haven't personally found a sufficient evidence for one?
There could be a God that I'm not aware of, or at least one that I don't yet believe in. I'm not yet convinced. And so as a result, I'm an atheist. So there could be a God. I just don't have any good reason yet to believe so.
Okay. So let me ask you this. What would make you think that there's a possibility that is worth taking seriously? Like, what would you need to see or understand to move from maybe to I have a better, I have good reason to believe that God exists?
Like, I can name one thing, but it's not exhaust. I mean, I can give you an example of what would convince me of Christianity's validity. I don't think you would be able to do it, though, is the problem.
So you don't really know, or you know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, assuming that the Christian God is real and he's all knowing and all powerful, then I would say he knows what would convince me. And he's powerful enough to do that thing. So really, the ball's in his court. I'm a non-resistant non-believer. Like, I would believe in God tomorrow if I was given a reason to.
Got you. All right, then let's put Christianity aside for a second, and let's just ask whether there are philosophical reasons to think that a God exists. Because if there are, then we can come back to whether Christianity is actually true.
Sure.
So why do you think that there is something then rather than absolutely nothing?
Yeah, because I don't think nothing can exist. Mostly because it's a contradiction in terms. Like, nothing can't exist because nothing can have ontology, or else it would be something.
So you think that absolute nothingness is impossible? Why do you think that?
Because in order for nothing to have ontology, can nothing have ontology?
All right, I understand. Okay.
Yeah, also, I have no evidence that there was ever a point where there was just nothing.
If nothing means literally the absence of anything whatsoever, then it wouldn't have properties, existence, or an ontology of its own. So how could we say that nothing exists?
Yeah, exactly. So there could never be there could never be nothing. There always had to be something.
But does that mean that something necessarily exists? And if so, what do you think that necessary reality is?
Well, my best guess, because I've yet to be given a good argument for there being a beginning to the universe, is that The thing which just does exist as a brute fact is the universe itself.
Okay, the universe. All right. So you're saying the universe itself is the thing that necessarily exists, and there's no deeper explanation for why it exists. But what makes you think that the universe is necessary rather than contingent? Because it seems like the universe could have been different. It could have had different laws, different constants, different initials.
Wait, could it have?
Well,
could the universe have had different laws?
Well, that's fair, but then like you're accepting that like the explanation of reality is kind of like just a fact.
Yeah, reality is a fact as far as I can tell. I've never been presented with a really good argument that the universe could have been different or that it could come into existence from nothingness. As a result, I can't hold to those beliefs. And don't worry, everyone. Isaac will be up next, everyone.
That's fair, but I think there's like a difference between saying I haven't been given a good argument that the universe could have been different and saying therefore the universe is necessary. Would you agree with that?
Well, like that's all I'm left with. Maybe the universe isn't necessary, but like all the data doesn't seem to support the universe being contingent or coming into existence or having a beginning or anything like this.
Yes. So yes?
Yeah, it's like the default position.
Like we can provide arguments as to why the universe is necessary.
My argument doesn't require me to prove that the universe came from nothing or that it had a beginning. I'm asking a different question. What explains why this particular reality exists rather than another possible reality, or why this reality exists at all?
I don't have any reason to think that there could have been another reality, especially since I'm a hard determinist as well. I think a cause leads to effect. And so like, I don't have any reason to think that the universe could have been different. Could you give me an argument for how it could have, that it could have been different?
All right. I think we're mixing up two different kinds of could. 'Cause if everything is determined by prior causes, that might mean that given the exact state of the universe, only one future follows. But why does that mean the universe itself had to exist in the first place? Couldn't determinism be true within a universe that is still contingent?
I mean, do we have any... Real quick, I just want to ask him this question. Do we have any evidence that there was a time when the universe didn't exist?
Not necessarily.
If I don't have evidence for that position, should I believe it?
Well, the Big Bang doesn't prove that there was a moment where absolutely nothing existed.
Correct. All the Big Bang
describes the universe
expanding from a very dense point.
A hot, dense state.
Yep, and it doesn't tell us anything about what happened prior to that expansion. So, like, should I believe that the universe has should I believe that the universe has a beginning if I don't have reason to think so?
But that's not the question I'm actually asking. Even if the universe has existed eternally, why does it exist at all? I'm asking for...
Because it can't fail to exist, right? And if you'd like an argument for that, I can just say that it's either the case that something exists or nothing exists. But if nothing existed, then it would be a determinate truth that nothing exists, right? And if determinate truths exist, then there's something that accounts for it being what it is as opposed to what it isn't. And if there's something that accounts for it being what it is as opposed to what it isn't, then there's something that accounts for, or the something that accounts for it has to be some sort of relational structure. And if nothing existed, then a relational structure would exist, which is a contradiction. So when you say, how is it the case that a universe exists? Well, it can't fail to exist. There has to be something.
So let me see if I understand your position. You think absolute nothingness is impossible because saying nothing exists seems to involve a truth about reality. But if nothingness were generally the case, there wouldn't be any entities, properties, or facts at all. So what exactly would make nothing exist true?
Would it be true in a universe in which nothing existed? Would it be true that nothing existed?
Well, that's a little subtle. Well, if by nothing existed you mean that there are literally no entities whatsoever, then there's a philosophical distinction. The proposition nothing exists can be formulated by us, but if absolutely nothing exists, there's no person, mind, language,
Do you
or
believe in
object.
bivalence?
Do I believe in bivalence?
Bivalence? Do you think that propositions are going to have it? Like, if it's the case that that proposition is false,
You mean wait? You mean dualism?
dualism. This has nothing to do with dualism.
Wait, what did you say? My bad.
I said bivalence.
They were just about to explain this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so bivalence is just a logical rule that would say that every meaningful statement has either a true or false value, right? So if it's the case that in a universe in which there is nothing, it would be true that there is nothing. Now, there's going to be a truth value to that proposition. Now, whether or not there's a mind there to utter it, that's a different question. Now we're talking about like, well, we're getting into a different discussion there, but look,
Okay.
we're providing
Well-
reasons. We're kind of off on a little bit of a rabbit trail here. I'd like to maybe zero back in on the claim, because if you think
Yeah.
it's, there's some sort of contingency argument or some sort of argument that entails a God existing, I think that's what we're here to listen to.
Yeah. No, that's what I was well, okay, this is what I'm arguing. That contingent things exist. Things that don't have to exist. And a contingent thing doesn't contain the sufficient reason for its own existence.
Okay, so unfortunately, the underlying philosophical scaffolding that props up these contingency arguments is the PSR. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah. Yeah, the PSR.
Okay. Do you think that the PSR is a metaphysical principle that one ought adopt?
I mean, yeah, but with
Okay, do you think that all contingent facts
qualification,
have an explanation for why they are a particular way?
Well, hold on. The PSR is roughly for every contingent fact there is a sufficient reason why it is the case rather than otherwise, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Dalton, I
So-
DM'd you.
So a Catholic, type of idea, way to think of this, it would kind of be like, yeah, there's a good reason to accept the PSR. I mean,
what
contingent things.
what grounds God's decision to instantiate world X as opposed to world Y?
Wait, say that again.
What grounds God's decision to instantiate world X as opposed to world Y?
Well, nothing outside God determines him to choose X rather than Y.
Is it necessary that he chose X, or is it contingent?
God's choice isn't necessitated by some
Okay.
external.
Well, then it's a
reason.
brute contingency. So why is it the case that God can entail some sort of brute contingency, but brute contingencies can't exist in naturalism? Like a brute contingency being some sort of contingent fact that could have been otherwise in a modal sense, but is brute insofar as there's nothing that explains why it is this particular way.
Okay, so we're at like a PSR versus brute fact kind of debate here.
Well, I think what I'm saying here is that brute contingencies are perfectly fine even in your view. So I don't see why it is the case that these can't explain what
Hey-
underpins our reality.
Okay, so you
Hold
you're
on,
saying-
hold on, Sticks. I would like to include, because I did send this to Dalton about the weak and the strong PSR and why brute facts on the weak PSR are still okay. Are you able to explain that and why that is the case?
The distinction between strong and weak PSR and what's going on here?
Because this is a debate between you two,
Sure.
but I do think that this is important because we do in all atheist spaces get Philbros, and PSR is seemingly for some reason coming up more often now than a lot of other arguments.
Yeah, for some
Yeah,
reason.
so contingency arguments, like question mark said, it's going to say something like every contingent fact has some sort of explanation for why it is this particular way. Contingency is usually used in a modal sense, as opposed to a dependent sense. So what I mean by that is a fact that could have been otherwise. So for example, the tree in your front yard, that could have been otherwise. That seems to be like a contingent fact. Now there's different views on this, like there are a lot of necessitarians like Graham Oppy, for example. But just to play along here, I can grant that contingent things do exist, things that could have been otherwise. Now there's two senses of PSR that are like the scaffolding for these contingency arguments. There's the strong PSR, which says that all contingent facts have an explanation, and then there's a weak PSR, which is to say that some contingent facts have an explanation, right? Question mark, do you have some sort of comment on this? I don't want to strawman your position.
All right. Well, I was just trying to figure out your position. So you're saying it's genuinely contingent. It could have been like before. You were saying it was genuinely contingent. It could have been. Well, actually, no. I think the Bible guy was saying this, that it was genuinely contingent. It could have been otherwise, but there's no explanation whatsoever for why it's this way rather than it's another way. Why should I accept that as a brute fact? Isn't
Because
that
I think
exactly
your
the
worldview
kind of
entails it.
contingent?
It's proof by parity, right? Because when I asked you what grounds God's decision to instantiate world X as opposed to world Y, you said, well, there's nothing outside of God's decision that grounds it, right? Which is just to say that there exists, in your view, a brute contingency. There's some contingent fact, that God instantiated world X that could have been different. He could have instantiated world Y, but there's nothing outside of that decision that explains it. So if, for example, there are contingent facts about reality that are just naturalistic that, according to you or us, appear contingent, well, maybe they're brute insofar as there's nothing that explains why they are this way as opposed to another, which collapses the PSR, which is the scaffolding in which this argument is built on.
Yeah, I was thinking that last night too, because if you hold that there can't be brute facts, God himself would be a brute fact, and that there's nothing that gives rise to it, no explanation that gives rise to his existence. So either way, everyone's going to have some sort of brute fact that they're appealing to.
I see the problem, but I don't think the argument has to claim that every contingent fact has a determining explanation. The relevant question is
then you're arguing on brute fact. That is what Styx is saying. You're arguing the weak PSR.
And why can't it just be that the universe itself is a brute fact? It just does exist, and it has no explanation to it. It just is.
Well, okay, but all right. But for what reason do you have for believing that a brute contingent fact is metaphysically possible? You're saying the universe could have
You're
been
arguing
otherwise.
from it. We both agree on this point. Unless you want to change your position and argue a different position, we both agree that brute facts can exist based on your argumentation. You may not accept the terminology. I don't care. You're arguing from the same position we are.
You called it a brute,
by that standard.
You called it a brute contingent fact. I don't know that the universe is contingent. It might have parts that are contingent, but to say that the whole thing is, I don't know if we're justified in making that statement.
The example I sent to Dalton, from the way that I understand it, is when you argue from this. Actually, I apologize. I don't think this applies in the way that I was thinking of it previously. So I'm going to retract that because I think they're now thinking about it might be different. So I apologize.
All right. That's fair. I don't think I've established that the universe as a whole is contingent merely by pointing out that things within the universe are contingent. I don't.
Yeah,
that's what I was worried about.
That's fine. It could just be an infinite series of contingent things that, an infinite series of cause and effect within the universe.
Or alternatively, there could be some necessary initial state, right? I don't know why that necessary state would have to be in mind.
I just have a question. But if you don't know whether the universe is necessary or contingent, what do you think would justify saying that the universe itself is a brute fact?
You are saying that there is a necessary entity such as God. And we're just saying we don't know either, but it is possible that the universe was that necessary fact. You're just adding more. You're adding more steps.
Earlier in this conversation, I rendered an argument that would show that the universe is necessary because it could not have failed to exist.
Well, to reply to Ashlyn, I agree that merely saying God is necessary doesn't prove that God is necessary, but I think we can investigate whether the universe has the characteristics we'd expect of a necessary being.
But that's
The
an
fact
entirely
that it's
different
possible-
argument.
Well, what reason do you have for thinking the universe could be metaphysically necessary?
I
rather
have
than
no
just-
I have no evidence otherwise.
We provided an
Oh.
argument earlier, question mark.
Then,
Do you remember what we said?
We're in a similar position then. You're saying the universe might be necessary. I'm saying there may be a necessary foundation of
Hey,
reality.
This is weird having the woman's voice be heard over a man's, but Styx is trying to respond to you.
Oh.
Well, look, we provided arguments earlier as to how the universe is going to be necessary in some way. Now, we can grant, even for the sake of this discussion, that contingent things in the universe exist, but it would be a composition fallacy just to say that because the universe itself contains contingent things, that it is itself contingent. Not only have you failed to provide justification to believe there are contingent things, but you've also failed to provide justification for some sense of PSR that gets us to even some necessary initial mind or something. There's a lot of work you need to.
I have a question for Styx. Contingent things are things that could have been otherwise, right?
In the modal sense, that's typically how it's used in the literature, yeah. Some people use it in a dependent sense, that it depends on something else for its existence.
Okay, because I'm thinking I'm a hard determinist. I don't think that. I think that every event that happens was absolutely bound to happen, and that could not have been otherwise. So under that definition, I'm not sure if anything
determinism is typically speaking to some sort of causal link between things that exist, but you might be more in tune with what's considered necessitarian, where
that's what I
there
thought.
are no contingent things. Necessitarianism and geez, sorry, it's late. What's the word you just said?
Hard determinism.
Determinism. Thank you. Determinism and necessitarianism typically go hand in hand.
That's what I thought. Yeah, that was my intuition, at least when I was thinking about this last night. I might classify as a necessitarianism, in which case I think that there are no contingent things. Big W to Styx.
Styx, I have a question because before you were basically saying the universe could be necessary, but if you're saying the universe itself is necessary, what exactly makes it necessary? What would make it impossible for the universe not to exist?
Well, I provided an argument earlier. Do you remember what we said about how if there did not exist a universe, then there would be determinate facts that still existed?
No, I think I'm confused. The argument that you're, I think I'm confused. The argument.
I do just want to give you a little bit of a W right now, question mark, so you maybe feel a little more comfortable. You've been listening, you've been responding. You didn't dismiss me just because I'm a woman. So yeah, you're listening. I think that maybe some of the concepts are a little above your head. And I don't mean that in they're above my head too. Don't worry. And you're just, honestly, I think you are trying to figure out what we mean by things and the discussion instead of just trying to win a debate. So I do want to give you a little bit of shout out, and obviously always Styx deserves a shout out.
All right. Yeah, thank you. I remember the general point you were making about nothingness, absolute nothingness, and whether there could be truths or facts if nothing existed, but I don't want to represent your argument. Is that it?
That was the argument just said something that it's either the case that something exists or nothing exists, and if nothing existed, then there would be a determinate truth that nothing existed, and if determinate truths exist, then there's something that accounts for it being what it is as opposed to what it's not. And if there's something that accounts for what it is as opposed to what it's not, then that something that accounts for it must be some sort of relational structure. And as long as basically the conclusion would be that if nothing existed, then a relational structure would exist, and that's a contradiction.
All right. I see the conclusion. But when you say there would be a relational structure, what are exactly the things that stand in the relation?
Sorry, can you repeat that question? What?
Do you not say that? Well, I think your argument might help my position more than yours. If you're establishing that absolute nothingness is impossible, then I agree that something must necessarily exist, but why identify that necessary reality with the physical universe?
Well, because that's all we have evidence for is the existence of the universe. I've yet to be presented with evidence of something beyond the universe, a supernatural. The only thing I have evidence for is nature. And thus, because I only have evidence of nature and have no evidence of the supernatural, I think it's just more parsimonious, I think might be the word, to hold to that the universe is just that which has always existed.
How do you define existence?
How do I define existence?
Yeah, if you're like not deriving a contradiction from this, like how is it nothing a possibility? Like
Well,
it has a possibility to exist.
I define existence as the actuality of a thing, the fact that is rather than is not. Something that exists. Something exists. It has being in reality, opposed to merely being imagined or merely possible.
So
But I think
does nothingness have being?
Uh, Wait,
Can nothingness have being?
can nothingness have being? Well, no. If nothingness means absolute nothingness, then it doesn't have being.
So
That's
nothingness can't
That's
be.
precisely what makes it nothing.
Yeah, that's why you can't. Why it's just
then-
trivially true that nothingness can't be, because be
But then we have
is
to ask.
being.
Then we have to ask whether absolute nothingness is a possible state of affairs.
I don't think it's possible.
Well, you're kind of reifying nothing too when you're saying that nothing exists.
Wait, my bad. I didn't hear you. You're a little low.
You're reifying nothing if you say that nothing exists. Like existence, at least taken by like the Quinian account, is going to be something that can be quantified over. You can't quantify over nothing.
So, I mean, I agree that saying nothing exists doesn't necessarily mean that nothing is some kind of object. I'm not trying to turn nothing into a thing. I'm
Well-
asking whether the state of affairs described by nothing exists is metaphysically possible. If I have a question, if you think absolute nothingness is possible, what exactly makes it a possible state of affairs?
I don't think
it's
it's possible.
Yeah, I'll say I don't think it is possible.
Are you thinking of no thing? Like it is possible that no things exist, but I don't think nothingness is possible.
So, okay, that's interesting. So you think it's metaphysically necessary that something exists?
Well, hold on. When you say metaphysically necessary, you're invoking like necessary is modal language. Are you willing to commit to describing what a metaphysical modality is?
You said what?
When you say like contingent, necessary, these type of modal terms, you're invoking some sort of modality. Like, do you know what modalities are? Like logical
Well,
modality,
in this
nomological,
context-
physical.
Okay.
No, right. We're obviously not talking about a physical modality because what is possible and impossible in a physical modality would be indexed to maybe perhaps like the physical parameters of that space, right? But when we talk about like logical modality, we're talking about things that are, going to perhaps not entail some sort of contradiction. Now, are you saying it's like, I don't know, logically impossible for there to be logically possible for there to be a philosophical nothing?
Well, what account of modality are you using? Like when you say something
I'm
is
asking
possible,
you.
what makes it possible?
You said metaphysically, but I've never heard a good account within the literature or within these kind of dialectics where I've heard someone has kind of explicated what a metaphysical modality is, and it hasn't just collapsed into a logical modality.
Question mark. And I'm not trying to be rude or dismiss you, but it doesn't sound like you're educated enough to have the type of conversation that is being had at this moment. It sounds like you maybe heard something and you're decently read, but these do feel like rather basic questions.
Maybe let's just do this. What makes you think? Look, it seems to be the case that we both agree that there has to be something, that a philosophical nothing can't exist. Now, what makes you think that the ground of reality is a mind as opposed to some natural state of affairs or some natural feature?
Well, first of all, that's fair. I don't think we establish that merely from the fact that something necessarily exists. I need like an additional argument for why the ultimate ground is intellective rather than an impersonal natural state. Like my reason for thinking it is mine like that it is mine like is that we're trying to explain not merely why something exists, but why there is a particular contingent order of reality. If like the ultimate ground is necessary and the created order is contingent, then the transition from a necessary ground to a particular contingent reality can't be forced by the nature of the ground alone. A mind.
This is why I asked you what grounds God's decision to instantiate world X as opposed to world Y.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
Well, that's perfect timing because that was going to be the ending of the conversation anyways. I felt like we were about to get close to getting to tag territory, and then that would have been a whole conversation about how I don't actually believe in the existence of transcendentals. Now, thank you, Six, for that. We're going to bring up Isaac, and real quick, Fern Love Bond. I get it with the $2, 50% of YouTube audience. We were learning something though, and I've learned so much just in the past 2 days. And big W to Sticks for the help in on that. As when I post that video to YouTube, it will say something to the effect of, "We spent half an hour talking about nothing." And also Gene said, "Rank me." I told you, Gene, you're F tier. That's where your ranking is in these conversations. Okay. Isaac is coming up now. Isaac, I'm going to ask you 3 preliminary questions, and then we can get to that conversation. Are you at least 18?
Yep.
Really? You live in America?
No.
What country do you live in?
New Zealand.
Yeah, you're a child.
Yeah,
So
they acted like a child in the comment sections too.
Whenever they are like super duper like, bring me up, bring me up, bring me up, it's always kind of a sign that they're basically asking for uppies. We don't talk to children on this app. All right, Judah's coming up. Judah, are you at least 18 years old?
Yes, I am.
And what pronouns do you go by?
He and he, him.
All right, and are you a God believer of some kind?
Yeah.
All right, what God would that be?
For me, it's the Holy Trinity.
All right.
But I'm not here to prove the Holy Trinity. I'm here to prove the existence of a God.
All right, I'm Dalton the Bible
That's my
Guy.
stance.
This is Ashland and Sticks. I am an atheist. I don't believe in a God. Why should I believe in a God?
I think you're asking the wrong question. I think the question would be, is there a God or not? Because if you're asking why should you, it's based off of if there is one or not.
Well, when I say why should I believe in a God, what I mean by that is I'm the kind of person who wants to believe as many true things as possible and disbelieve as many false things as possible. And if God is real and the statement that God exists is true, then I would like to know about it. If so, why should I believe in a God is give me a justification for the statement that God exists.
Okay. Well, do you believe that things can come from nothing?
Nope. Which is why I do not believe there was ever a nothing.
You don't believe there's ever nothing?
No, no one's given me a good argument.
So how do you believe that
we just spent 30 minutes talking about the topic of nothing with the last guest.
That's okay. That's cool. So do you believe that things change without do you believe in the law of cause and effect?
We do, like on a level.
So, yeah,
cause
that's
and
not
effect.
a law.
It's not a law, but yeah, cause and effect is a thing that
you know
seems
what I mean.
that exists, but I think that change is like an illusion.
So you believe that? Wait, can you explain that?
I believe in B theory of time. So all moments of time are equally actual. There's no like moment of time which has priority over another.
Why do you believe that?
Why do I believe in B theory time?
Yeah.
Besides the fact that
Relativity, simultaneity.
yeah, 'cause
I
that's
didn't hear. I'm sorry.
relativity and simultaneity. Among scientists, the B theory time is the consensus view of like how we understand time works, and that's because we understand that the time and space are interconnected; they're a continuum, and if the universe is infinite, which all the evidence seems to be pointing to that fact, then time must itself also be infinite. Also, the fact that two people can experience time in a different way at the same time is a very strange factor that has led to the belief in B theory time.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I did not come prepared for a debate based off of the B theory.
Also, you don't want to believe in
Because
A
I
theory
just I
time
don't.
because then you get the problem of infinite regression.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't know a lot about that, so I would have to like research, check, and see on that. But for me personally, I just don't believe in that. If I were to debate, I would debate based off of
Wait, hold on. This is kind of our problem with belief. Didn't you come up and say and question Dalton's position on his question? But you just
Yeah.
said you don't know enough about it, and then therefore now you believe in A theory of time. So
I
what's
don't believe. I don't know enough about what he's talking about to debate it.
but you
Like
believe in A theory
I'm
of
not.
time.
I'm not
Shouldn't you
educated
know?
about it. Yeah, yeah, I am. I am.
Okay.
I'm not
So
sure.
since I
I don't
believe in
think. I
that,
don't
I'm
think he knows
going
enough.
off of principles.
I don't think he knows enough about theories of time in order to know which one he believes in.
Yeah, yeah. I just don't like. I just.
So why did you say you believe in A theory of time if you try to believe in true things?
Oh, he didn't make the positive claim that he believed in A theory.
Yeah.
I'm saying that.
Oh, I
that
thought he said he. I
no,
thought he said he did. I apologize.
Like
yeah.
obviously, what okay, again, like when we're talking about stuff out of the third dimension, obviously anybody can make a claim
Third
and
dimension.
it could be possible, right? Because like
Wait, what do you
we
think?
have no way,
Third dimension is width.
but like I mean space and time,
Space,
right? Like things
time.
out of
So
you
there,
cannot disprove
there,
things.
there
You
are.
cannot disprove things out of space and time. Like if I wanted to say that I believed that a unicorn created us all, there's no way to disprove that because you don't have any evidence coming out of
Well, we don't need to
whatever
disprove.
we
We
live in.
don't. We don't need to disprove
Right.
it.
I'm just saying. So
The
because you're
we
saying
just
that,
well,
because
wait,
because you're bringing up the
Judah. We don't need to disprove a unicorn because, like, unless you can prove, unless
okay,
you're able to,
yes, it's an analogy, bro.
Judah, wait. What I'm just about to
Okay,
say to you is, the default position is to lack belief that something exists until the person who's making the positive claim that it does
I
exist
agree.
provides evidence. So that's why I like a belief in God.
Right. Yes, I agree. What I'm trying to say is, and excuse me, I'm pretty tired right now, but what I'm trying to say is to disprove a negative in a debate is not a thing, right? I'm supposed to prove to you that God exists. You don't prove to me that
Correct.
God doesn't exist.
The
So
burden of
for
proof
you
is
to
on
come
you.
and say, what were you saying? You believe in some other, like you believe in other
I believe
like
as
rules and how space and time works. So for
yeah,
me to
I
try
just
and debate that
I just hold to the
is a little harder.
I just hold to the consensus view, given by scientists about how time works.
Okay, and that's great. So for me to try and debate that when I don't know anything about it,
Sure, then we can
it's
just
kind
make
of hard.
just make a different argument then for God's existence.
Okay, yeah. Well, I would just base it off of, like the beginning. Like I believe in the Eliot's argument of like there being three options
I love this.
Yeah,
of
here,
there being
give us the three options and we'll see.
Okay. Well, you brought in another one, but I believe that there was either a beginning, not a
Okay.
beginning, or a higher power that created the universe.
Yeah, I would just
And I
say
just
I
believe
hold to there not being a beginning. What's wrong with that?
right, right. And then to you, I would say, do you believe that nothing comes out of? Hold on, I'm sorry.
I
Do you
don't.
believe that something comes out of nothing? And you said
No,
no.
that's why I think there's no beginning because there was never a point where there was nothing. As far as I can tell, it would seem to be that the universe has always existed.
Right, and
E-
I don't
even
have a way to
e-
I don't
even
have
if
a way to disprove that.
even if there was a beginning, who's to say that that's God? I still don't understand the position that a
Well,
beginning therefore equates to
to say
God.
if there was a beginning, you have to decide, or you don't have to, but if you want to go into debate, you have to choose whether it was created by.
How well? Let's hypothetical. It's
Yeah.
the end of time. Some fool has invented a time machine, and he activates it. He goes back in time, but it destroys all of the universe. But he goes back in time, 13.8 billion years, and his time machine actually like jumpstarts the Big Bang. That there's a beginning of time, but no God required.
Okay, but how isn't that just a paradox? Because how would the dude exist in the first place?
Because like he's the product of evolution, like every one of us. Oh, there's no paradox there.
So you're saying
I'm curious,
if
Judah.
a dude came, hold on. So you're saying if a dude came from the end of time and traveled back to the start of time and caused the Big Bang, then that's how he exists. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah, I mean, just as
How's that
I'm,
not
no,
a
I'm not saying
paradox?
I'm not saying that is the state of like that's how actually things happen, because of course I don't believe that. I'm just saying
I know it's
you can have a cyclical model where there's a beginning and you don't need a God.
Okay.
So
right, but that doesn't fall under the three.
Sure, which means that there's more than just Chad Smelliott's three options. But you said you had a way of disproving that the universe has always existed. I'm very interested to hear that.
Wait, when did I say that?
Right,
Elliot's trichotomy to be exhaustive to the extent that. Sorry, yeah, you did say this. You said that.
Yeah, you said it here. Let me see. I got the tape right here. Here, let me just pull this up. Right before Ashlyn said something, post that video to YouTube. It will. Let's see.
I apologize.
Like obviously, I believe it. Disprove, like to disprove it. I'm pretty tired right now, but what I'm trying to debate is that God doesn't exist. Other time works. So let's base it off of
give us the three options.
Being where that comes out of.
That's why I think there's no beginning, because there was never a point where there was nothing. As far as I can tell, it would seem to be that the universe has always existed.
Right, and I don't have a way to disprove that.
Oh, exactly right. You said I don't have a way of disproving. That's fine. Yeah. Universe has always existed.
Right. Yeah. My thing is, like, if you want to come up here and you can say you can believe in any way the universe was created, and a lot of those ways,
created.
if they don't go under those three, a lot of those ways I don't have a way of disproving, because it's the same way that you don't have a way of disproving.
No, mine does go. Mine was one of the three ways. Mine's the universe doesn't have a beginning.
What's the justification, though, that it is God, is what I'm asking you. Even if it had a beginning, you have to now substantiate the fact that it's God doing the beginning. And you have to disprove all alternative hypotheses in this aspect. You can't lend to God being more likely than a time traveler, because both require means in which we cannot substantiate. There's no justification for either.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. Okay. So what you're trying to say is that I don't have a way of showing that the beginning of the universe was more likely that God was than a
Yes,
than a time traveler.
because you're
But
talking about supernatural
the
claims.
start of my argument is just that the start of the universe would come from higher intelligence, not nothingness, right? I would
Okay,
say.
but
So that
you need
time
to
traveler would have intelligence.
but you need to give an argument that it must come from a higher intelligence.
Well, I believe because there was a start, that the start happened.
But how do you know? How do you know?
We've just explained to you why that cannot be the case. You just said higher probability and then just said it must be.
I think it's more plausible. I don't think it must be.
Why do you think that it is more plausible?
Because of evidence seen everywhere I look in my life.
So look at the trees.
Anytime I see creation,
This is just a sophisticated look at the trees argument.
Yeah, I don't see intelligence in the universe. In fact, there's if this was the creation of a mind, this mind blundered quite a bit in the creation of the universe. Like just to something simple. I got this pipe here. I breathe out of it. I also drink out of it. If I do both wrong at the same time, I will choke and die. That's not very well made.
Well, it's obviously well made enough.
So no. The
one
fact
at a
is
time.
that most living organisms pass away. 99.9999 going on forms of life do not make it. Like, not just like you live until like you want to live. They go extinct.
Right.
So no, I don't see evidence of this from any aspect of life.
Okay, but again, going back to what I was saying, is I think you bring a point there, which is saying that, right, whatever you said, 99.9.
You're giving an
living organisms-
unfalsifiable claim, is what you're doing. Just FYI,
I'm giving a what?
Unfalsifiable claim.
Well,
You
my stance is not 100% proof, right? My stance is just
No, I'm saying unfalsifiable. Do you know what that means?
No.
Okay, so the evidence that you have for our existence is the only thing that you're using. But then when I present you evidence that goes against it, you just dismiss that and ignore it entirely. So it doesn't lend to the probability that your claim is true. You're just saying everything sense is evidence of this. But I'm giving you counter evidence. You're like, nah, we're just going to dismiss that.
Wait, what's your counter evidence?
That most things that exist cease to exist entirely. Like,
yeah, but that's not counter evidence. That can happen. That can happen, and there still be a God. That's not disproving anything.
Look.
that's why I'm saying it's unfalsifiable.
Let's take a little bit of a receipt of the conversation, because you entered this current line of debate with the Elliot argument, which is a deductive argument, right? What Chad Elliot wants to do is say there are reasons in which we can say that the universe began to exist by process of deduction, that it can't be the case that the universe always existed, that it came into existence, and the best explanation for that is God. Now, I haven't listened to that idiot in a long time, but I assume he provides a supplementary argument where he gets from the universe began to exist and that the cause of that must be a mind, right? Are you just providing like inductive or abductive reasons now? You say you look around, you see reasons in which this seems to be a product of a mind?
Yeah, okay.
Why
Yes.
would you look like when you look around and see things and look at things? Why would this be more probable or probably a derivative of a mind as opposed to just natural processes or natural cause and effect?
Okay, first of all, my belief stems from two things, which is like experience, my experience, and then evidence for it.
So let's just ignore the experience part and get to the evidence part.
Okay, well, the evidence part is when okay, let me not twist up. Okay, evidence is kind of a stretch. I would just say I would base it based off of more plausible, right? More reasonable and more
so something very
personally-
subjective.
Personally, for me, it is it's
Nothing
subject- I think it's
nothing that anyone here could objectively like verify in any way.
well, in that case,
Yeah.
then I make the same argument, but I'm an atheist and I have the opposite stance, and it's
Yeah.
a subjective experience.
And I agree. Again, I don't think there's there's no such thing as a 100% proof of how.
Well, it's not.
anything is,
I'm
right?
not
It's
asking
just
for
based on
100%
evidence.
proof.
And
Just
the
anything
evidence,
that
right, I know.
raises the likelihood that your God exists. But you've done you've done absolutely nothing in this conversation to even raise me up even 1% closer to the idea that God could exist.
Right. It's sorry. I'm just pretty tired right now. I don't even know I joined this right now, but I don't want to leave because that's.
Well, I think
Okay,
I think this probably is the best time to end the conversation because we're reaching into the end of the show, and I got another guest who wants to come up. So come back later when you have another when you have a better conversation argument.
Take care.
All right, we got one last guest here. User, are you at least 18 years old?
I am 18.
What pronouns do you go by?
He, him.
And are you a God believer of some kind?
I am.
All right. Which God would that be?
Christian.
All right. Why should I believe in the Christian God?
For now specifically, is it okay if I do more of a theistic argument?
Sure.
Okay. Are you familiar with the contingency argument?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So I noticed with the last guest, you said that there's like no way to prove that the universe has a beginning. You do adhere to that, correct?
No, it could be that there might be a way of proving that the universe has a beginning, but no one's provided me a good reason to think so.
Okay. So I guess you do know the definition of contingent, right?
Yeah,
Are you using contingent in a modal sense or a dependent sense?
Dependent.
Dependent. So when you say contingent, what you're not saying is it could fail to exist. What you're saying is that it relies on something else for its existence.
Right.
Sure.
Okay.
It's usually not how it's used in contingency arguments, but okay.
Okay, well, for this specific argument, the universe is expanding. Obviously, the Big Bang happened.
Currently,
essentially, one of the ways to test if something's contingent is if it's changing or subject to change. If the whole universe is constantly expanding or has expanded or changed at some point.
Well, not the whole universe. The observable universe is
The
changing.
observable universe.
We don't know that the entire universe is changing as
No,
it.
I wanna hear what Styx has to say.
What
too,
would
'cause
you? What would you define if it's not part of our foreseeable universe, like the space-time continuum? What else, like, would you be referring to, like, I don't know, quantum fields or anything underlying, or?
I mean, most physicists
the
would say.
universe itself.
I at least the physicists in my life have told me that the universe is like infinite in size, and that the part that's expanding, at least, is just our local presentation, the observable universe, and we can say that the local set at least is like expanding, and yeah, it's expanding.
Okay. So if the universe is expanding, and I guess we could get to the other parts of the universe, like that whole thing later. But if that, at least at that part of the universe, is like our space-time continuum that we can see in our reality, if that is expanding, that would technically make it contingent because something can't change without an external force.
Sure, there are things in the universe that are contingent. That doesn't mean the universe itself is contingent.
Okay. So,
but wait, change is modal speak, right? So when we talk about change, we're talking about like modal possibility. But why would you say that something that does change has to be like contingent?
Well, I guess I could use an example. It's more so a contingent change. So, like, well, for one, contingent it's kind of, I guess, self-explanatory from the definition. In its definition, contingency is something that depends on something else. In this sense, it's something that exists.
No, see, this is the shift, because even if I grant this kind of framework by which you're operating, all we're establishing is that, like, if X changes, then X depends on something for its changing states. But even if I grant that, we've only established that the dependence of X, like the dependence of its states, not necessarily the dependence of its existence. That's why I asked you, and typically, so like if we say that X changes and it requires something else to, I don't know, cause that change, that's not saying the same thing as that thing requires something else to instantiate its existence.
Right. I guess an easy way to, articulate this, if you go back to the beginning of the Big Bang, I guess if you're talking about how if you're differentiating from our foreseeable universe and whatever the rest of the universe would be, you would say the universe expanded. But of course, if there's something more than our foreseeable universe, then
observable.
Would that not just observable? Would that not just sort of kind of collapse into like quantum fields and the original energy that expanded into our?
When you say something
universe?
More than the universe, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Well, whatever your definition is,
I don't
whatever
know that
outside of the foreseeable universe.
Because the universe just refers to the set of all existing things. So, like, I don't know what more than the universe could be, because, like, all things that exist, as far as I can tell, exists in the universe.
Okay, well, I guess I would say the outside of the observer, like before the Big Bang.
I don't know if that's even.
Still,
I don't even know if that's
fields.
I don't even know
the underlying fields with the particles and the energy.
That's all still in the universe, though. I don't think it's coherent to say things like
so
outside.
we just have different definitions of the universe.
I just side with the science on this. The quantum fields exist within the universe, and to say something is outside the universe isn't even coherent.
Okay. So I would say in this scenario, you almost first I gotta ask, would you say that an infinite regress is a logical possibility?
Yeah,
in discrete moments.
I'm sorry.
Are you asking an infinite regress of like discrete moments, like an
I
actual
would
infinity?
can an infinite chain of contingent things exist?
Yeah, there's no P and not P there.
Yeah,
Okay.
In fact, I think it's probably most likely the case.
Okay, so you do believe in it. Okay. So I guess I could try to give you a few examples. So
wait.
try to
Before you
imagine,
do,
I
can
guess-
you
Just give your best one. Also, by the way, when you get to this, just do your best one
Right.
because I don't have time for a bunch of them.
Okay.
when
yeah,
you
that's
say it's
understandable.
not possible, what modality are you invoking?
I'm sorry.
Presumably what you're about to say is that it's not possible, and I'm asking what modality is it invoking?
Sticks, would you also question what they mean by change? Because I'm questioning what they mean by change. And
I guess a change in state. So like a moving train is changing its state in that sense, I guess. So like how when the universe expands, it's technically changing its state.
Well,
If that makes
okay,
sense.
there's a lot of metaphysical baggage in terms of the way you're using these terms, because we still haven't cashed out if we're talking about like causal dependence or grounding dependence or constitutive dependence, any of these different ways. But I just want to get clear on this next point. You're talking about infinite regress, and it seemed to be the case that you were saying it's not logically possible.
Right. Like
Okay,
in an
what would be
ontological sense.
so? What would be the P and not P, or the contradiction entailed by an infinite set of antecedent moments?
Yeah, I don't know which one of the three laws of logic are being broken here.
Essentially, the issue would be if a contingent, I mean, obviously, this is the whole point of an infinite regress. If a contingent thing or a contingent series goes on forever, forward and back in its sort of timeline sort of sense, so it never ends, but it never had a beginning, that contingent set would have no explanation for its existence.
Okay, but now,
So,
okay, here's another shift. This is why you need to get clear on the terms, because now you're talking about contingency in like an existence in a quantifying sense. You're not talking about some sort of dependent sense.
Well,
Now, if what you're saying is that each moment depends on some prior moment for its existence, I deny that. Also, you haven't provided a P and not P for an infinite set of antecedent moments, where each member of the set gains its like dependence from the prior moment.
Okay. This, I'll give an example just to kind of help with understanding, I guess.
Wait, but do you think it's logically impossible?
I do think it's logically
Okay, what's the P and not P then? I don't need an example, I just need a P and not P.
Well, the example would sort of kind of show you how
I don't
a
need an
contingent
example.
set-
I can if it is logically impossible, that means it entails a contradiction. That's what I'm asking for.
Yeah, just give us the actual
How
contradiction.
would I articulate that? I guess you would say the contradiction would be contingent things. So something that needs an explanation. So like a train being pulled by an engine. The car would be
Do you know what a
contingent. Its movement.
Do you know what a contradiction is?
Yes, I know. I know what a contradiction is. Yes.
All right. Twice. Stick said, "I don't need an example. I just need the P and not P."
Okay. I'm trying to think of a way to explain this.
So there exists an infinite set of antecedent moments. What's the not P?
Yeah, it sounds like the only way that could
I
be is
guess
that
you wouldn't
they both
have-
exist and they don't exist at the same time. Sounds like the only contradiction that could be here.
I guess if you have an infinite set of something that's contingent, or of things that are contingent of each other, then you have no explanation of how.
Not
the
a
things
P and
that-
not P.
We're not asking you for explanation. Like it's fine that some things.
think I'm
Okay.
misunderstanding you.
Well, no. Not having an explanation is not a problem with the laws of logic. You are understanding that, right?
I think I might be using my or misusing some terms here.
You're misusing a lot of terms. I've lost count of how many times you've misused terms here. But I just want to get clear.
Thank you,
You're
Sticks.
You're invoking a
Yeah.
logical modality. You recognize that the burden, if you're trying to say that it is not possible, would be for you to show a contradiction. I don't need you to give me an example of a train or a chain or anything else that you think illustrates some sort of causal dependence. I'm asking for the contradiction.
Well, I would say that those examples would not.
Okay,
Would those examples not
no.
demonstrate how?
No. I have a cup in front of me. Here's an example of P and not Phi.
Okay.
The cup exists not as the cup in the same state at the same set of time in the same way. That is a contradiction.
The
You're
door
just
over
saying
here
the
cannot be
cup,
both.
You're saying the cup doesn't have an explanation. That does not, like, just because something doesn't have an explanation doesn't defy any of the laws of logic. Nevertheless, the law of contradiction.
Yeah, it was like saying that my door is both open and closed at the same time. That's impossible. Or for a man to be both married and a bachelor at the same time. That's a contradiction.
Right.
So
yes,
we're asking
right.
for an example of something being this thing, but also not being this thing in the same exact way, in the same respect at the same time. That's a contradiction.
Okay. I guess in this sense, I wouldn't necessarily be able to give a contradiction, so to speak, but
I
I
have
would
no
also
reason to
claim
believe
that
it's logically
I
impossible.
could still, I would still be able to claim that it's impossible. I would say.
Okay, but what
Given my
modality now?
examples.
If it's not logically impossible, are you now saying it's metaphysically or nomologically or
I would say ontologically.
what's an ontological modality? What does that even mean?
I would say it's ontologically impossible for
What does
an
that
infinite
mean?
regress to exist.
What do you think that means?
I would say that beyond our
Hold on.
metaphysical or
Pause.
universal
Pause.
laws, an
Pause.
infinite regress cannot exist.
Pause, please.
All right, I'm sorry.
This is why people get bored by Philbro conversations. And this is not an attack at you, user. This is why it's a problem. Because, first off, a majority of people are willing to come up. They won't talk about the Bible, but they want to talk about philosophy. And this is why it's disrespected kind of as a field, too. From both, unless it's a Christian field that is like, oh, I'm going to throw out these terms. There is no other field in which you would sit there and like argue with someone on this basis. Do you not find it problematic that you're just using terms that you heard and like not representing them in a way that is correct? I'm actually subtly pissed right now.
I will say my terminology is probably the most. I need to work on my terminology for sure.
You can
I can
use
see
you don't
where you're
have
coming
to you don't have to use terms then. Absolutely.
Okay.
I worked as a TA in a field of behavioral neuroscience. We don't expect that of people, but can you sit here then if you're just going to lay out terms, can you not just explain it? Like just sit there and explain it.
Look, user, when we're talking about the terms possible, impossible, what we're doing is we're speaking in modal terms. So, for example, if I said it's physically impossible for me to jump to the moon, that would be because the physical laws that govern me jumping to the moon constrain my ability to be able to do that. Right? Now, if I said something's logically impossible, that would be because it entails some sort of contradiction, like a squared circle or a married bachelor, right?
Okay.
Now, when you say ontologically impossible, I have no idea what would make something ontologically possible or impossible. My question would be, in virtue of what is it impossible?
Okay. So I was definitely misusing my terms there. I apologize about that. I would say in the ontological sense, I would say more so. I guess this is sort of coming from my viewpoint, assuming there is a God. But this is, I mean, it can kind of work regardless using like, I mean, I guess with your definition of the universe, talking about the host specifically, you refer to the universe as like our entire reality. So we have different, like my definition of the universe would usually be considered as
Try not to question beg here though, user, because the argument you're rendering concludes that God must exist. Now, if you're saying that,
Right.
well, in virtue of God not existing, here's some parameters in which I'm saying there can't be an infinite set of antecedent discrete moments, well, that would just be question begging.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, bud. I am 30 minutes now over when I usually end the show. It's been 14 minutes and we have gotten nowhere in this conversation. I suggest making sure that before you use any technical jargon in the field of philosophy that you know what that word means, or just don't use it and just speak plainly and the way that we all do in our day-to-day lives. Yeah, but thank you for coming out.
I appreciate the
To be fair, you've probably heard a lot of arguments with a lot of people misusing terms.
Probably.
Yeah. Maybe we don't take what's online, and like use that as a basis to how we're going to use language in an academic aspect. When it comes
Okay.
down to it, philosophy is something that I do think that requires like more substantial reading than a lot of other fields to understand like how this is being used in the literature and why it's being used this way, which I think does lend to an unavailability to audiences. But it's kind of like the same as in the medical field, where if we're going to talk about things, we do need to be very accurate and precise because they mean very, very specific things. Unlike our daily word use, where we can talk about something, and just maybe if you have an argument, just use it in simple terms. If like that's what you mean by it, like I'm getting a little frustrated and I'm trying to calm myself down.
Sticks,
But like,
this show was literally talking about nothing for the last hour. I totally agree.
essentially.
And to everyone watching right now, don't worry. Tomorrow's live, when I go live, it will be Bible-centered talk tomorrow, as the past 2 days have been mostly philosophically inclined. So tomorrow it will be Bible-centered. But hey, user, thank you for calling in, and we'll talk to you later.
Of course. I appreciate it.
And a super chat here real quick from @2funx with the 5 Canuck bucks. Great stream, Bible guy. Much appreciated. Too fun. It was too fun. But I hope we all did learn at least something today in today's conversation. I know I did.
Sticks, I don't know what you go through because I dealt with students in behavioral psychology, and like they were at least equal, like they had the ability to be corrected, but you having to listen to this for like 2 fucking hours.
Yeah, what a trooper. As I understand it, Sticks, you could correct me wrong. I think I heard someone say once that originally you read all these philosophy books just to like make fun of the Phil Bros, but then accidentally ended up actually just learning philosophy as a result.
Pretty much. Took a couple classes, but yeah, that's pretty much how it went down.
There's a scene from this movie called The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, where Mark Wahlberg's character he goes to where his I think it's his wife, or maybe it's his ex-wife, where she works, and she works in a ballet studio, and he's trying to make fun of the men there who do ballet, and he goes, "You think that this shit's hard? I could do this shit," and then he flawlessly does like this. I think it's called like a pirouette or something like that, something in ballet, like a fancy move. And then Will Ferrell's like, after they're leaving, goes, "Why aren't you learning to do that? I learned how to do it in order to make fun of them," because that's a very specific skill.
Sticks, I do want to say that I'm trying to get Dalton to philosophy. You know I'm not that great at it. I think everyone here realizes that. I'm not always wrong, though. So, Sticks, I need your support in making Dalton a Phil bro.
That won't ever happen, but I'm like steadily like learning terms because I have to for my job. But like, you know,
you were Catholic. You had to understand some philosophy.
Yeah, but like the Sticks can back me up on this. Like the philosophy of Augustine and Aquinas isn't exactly robust.
Yeah, and that's what I'm here for defense against the dark arts.
Yeah, fantastic. Love that. All right, everyone. Let's see who's live right now. Let's see.
What's up, guys? I think.
Let's see. Inbox. Looks like Joel Reed's Bible is still up right now. So I haven't sent one to his live in a while. So everyone go over to talk to our friend Joel Meets Bible. Let him know that the Bible guy sent you. And I want to thank Styx and Quantanaut and Ashland for joining me up here today. We got a few good clips in today, including like I'm going to be posting that crash out clip from what was his name? Jay Ego's backup. Him actually just yelling at the mic is crazy. So we will be posting that up as soon as. But the next video that will be coming out will be Wednesday. Wednesday will be the next time you'll see a clip from the Bible guy, like clip stuff like that. I'm trying to put them out every other day. you'll have new clips from the Bible Guy show coming out.
But seriously, Quantinaut, as well as Styx, and all the people that join the panel who know a lot about a lot are some of my favorite people, like legitimately so, who have taken the time and dedicated studies in areas that I think we all, including myself, don't always want to read about. And can present arguments.
Facts. All right, everyone, you have a wonderful day. And with that, I've been the Bible Guy. Remember to keep reading, keep learning, and we'll see you all again tomorrow night. Bye.
Born from dust and questioning fire, wielding truth like a sword of desire. Ancient scrolls and cosmic flame, he tears through myth, he breaks the chain. Echoes of prophets, the stars align, knowledge and thunder intertwine. Reason ascends where blind faith fell, he reads the word and he reads it well. The Bible Guy, seeker of the light, through time and fire he rides the night, with reason's blade and wisdom's cry. The world shall hear the Bible Guy. Scrolls of ages, words aflame, he dares to question